Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today, shut up. God, your
screen is blank, or is that just me?
Yeah, it's blank for
It's
me
blank
as
on
well.
purpose. Okay.
No intro?
Are you giving like a reveal?
Welcome
intro,
to
bro?
welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today
That's weird.
we're gonna do a little documentary watch party here from F.D Signifier.
No Diddy.
Oh my god. I don't know what crevice he's up right now, but
he's trying to do an
there.
introduction. Please proceed.
Intervention? What's an intervention?
He's got a BBC cornered. He's trying to.
When you're molested by a priest's cousin.
Anyways, we're gonna react.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Don't
nope. Sign up for Dubster's OnlyFans.
Oh my god.
Third time's a charm, Jordan.
Well, welcome to the YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and this is the third time I'm doing this. Today, we're going to watch a watch party documentary from F.D Signifier. That's right, the notorious lefty, dreaded hip-hop aficionado, genius.
I'm black, yo, because I'm black, yo.
And he's going to do an entire assessment, a almost 2-hour documentary, essentially.
Is it about Nick Fuentes? Is it about Nick Fuentes?
Surrounding the topic of the times right now, which is obviously the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Oh, shit.
But he has a little thing here. Once again, I have not watched this, but you see this little title right here where it says Conservative Death Cult next to Charlie Kirk. So I'm curious what this notorious, let's vote for Kamala Harris.
God.
She didn't win because people are racist and sexist. I'm curious what he thinks about all this. It is what it is. Without further ado, what's that? Is that Matt Hunter? Oh, it's not. Okay.
This guy makes Hassan Piker look like Malcolm X, bro.
Without further ado, let's watch this marathon of a documentary where we're gonna cough, sneeze, talk over, pause, whatever.
Make fun of Dubster.
Please watch it on your own in the description box. Do that. Let's just jump right in. Also, please check out the Discord if you want to join that. We're all opinions welcome. Join that if you want to. Without further ado, from F.D Signifier, Charlie Kirk in the Conservative Death Cult. Here we go.
Oh my god. Oh, I don't want to watch this. What is this? I don't want to see this.
Blur out.
He can't show it, Seth.
Counting or not counting gang.
Tell me when that's. Oh, I've been trying to avoid that.
He cut it off.
On April 20th,
wait, oh my God.
I was in the junior year of high school in math class in the middle of what seemingly was a normal day.
There's the suicide warning on this video, just so people know.
Whose name I don't quite remember, came into class late with a ghostly look on his face. He was a first-year teacher, one of the few black male teachers I think I had all through high school. He was from Colorado, so he had a bit of a Carlton Bank swag, very proper. But he settled us down.
Unusual.
There had been a shooting at a high school in Colorado, and that our school,
not unusual to be in love with anyone.
I didn't go to school where I worried about safety that much. This is the South Chicago suburbs in the 90s, and don't get me wrong, gang violence was definitely a thing, even in the.
Yeah, real quick, is he using a bootleg Nas Made You Look beat in the background? Just listen for it. Here we go.
Dismiss soon. I didn't go to school where I worried about safety that much. This is the South Chicago suburbs in the 90s, and don't get me wrong.
It's a knockoff.
Violence was definitely a thing, even in the suburbs back then. But in my school, at worst, there were a few fights. I might have seen some gang activity once or twice. So it was weird to all of us that this shooting was significant enough across the country that they were going to cancel school here, or that anything about our school in particular would need to change in the aftermath of the Columbine massacre. Now, I understand gang issues have been relevant to the city of Chicago for decades. I wasn't even allowed to wear a certain color combination since like 5th grade because even in the suburbs, the gang problem was serious enough for them to pay attention. I had to learn a handshake or two to walk through my neighborhood just to get to school for a short period of time. But I didn't know any serious gangsters, right? I wasn't in the streets like that.
Let me hold $1.
That you would have to be in like that. We're not near
Jordan, let me hold $1.
But I do vividly remember stories of Yummy Sandiford, Latrell Davis, and Girl X horrifying stories of crime in Chicago in the 90s, but far enough away that I didn't think about it in my daily life. At the same time, it did reflect enough of my world that I understood that I was still somewhat a part of it. But I didn't fear it at school. My high school was pretty decent. It was well mixed at the time, both racially and socioeconomically. There was a handful of rougher kids in the city who went to school, but that was it. I worried more about getting roasted at the lunch table than getting chased home by GDs. But after Columbine, I suddenly had a new fear that I needed to face every day. Random, quiet, edgy white boys. Random because one thing that came out of Columbine was that there was a certain type of young white male that was almost always behind these types of events, and they were more common at my school.
I don't think even if he had a gun,
you see most like the black parts feeding into the school, there were also poor white parts, and I noticed early on that the poor white kids at the school did not mix well with the ones from the nicer part of the suburbs. In fact, they were bullied incessantly by those kids, and some of those kids fit the description, if you will. They seemed frustrated with the world in ways that didn't make sense to me because to me they were still white, couldn't be that bad.
Columbine kids were army kids.
Over the years, I found most of these guys on Facebook, and most of them I would say are living useful, healthy lives.
I think they were army
actually
brats.
have moderate to liberal politics at the end of the day.
This guy's the caricature that Matt Hunter thinks we're
very, very angry.
Good. Let him sulk and watch all this.
I kind of get it. Young men like Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris,
Matt Hunter is like your number one fan. What are you talking about?
For whatever reason, felt very similar
He's obsessed
to these
with you.
boys and men. They like Dylan Klebold.
You might rub one out.
Insane Cloud Bossy. I see that.
Columbine Massacre. They, for whatever reason, felt very
like you put a video out there.
these boys and men.
Might rub one out.
In destructive and horrifying ways. And
Shout out to the greatest show.
They weren't the first or the last.
Students also say that members of the small suburban gang bragged about their guns and ammo. One cyber chatter even recalled a previous warning that a certain El Caress wrote about preparing for the big April 20th. You're all gonna be sorry. Terrorism experts widely know that this time of year has been extremely
Hitler's birthday.
History. April 19th is the anniversary of many painful moments, from Waco to Ruby
Oh,
Ridge
did you
to
hear that?
Yeah, he reclassified marijuana. Yeah, I heard.
10th anniversary.
Schedule 3 instead of Schedule 1. Not really much, but still something.
What a hero.
Date for an event such as what occurred in Colorado.
Harvey Kushner, what's going on here?
Precipitate other types.
What do you mean? He's
Still a felony.
In 1999,
only federally.
Yeah, federally you can now get
legal in Maryland.
marijuana products.
Marijuana.
That's all I know.
Schedule 3 is still a felony for possession.
Middle school in Arkansas, killing a teacher and 4 middle schoolers. Sometime later, there was another shooting in
it's legal in Maryland.
In Colorado, maybe it was Illinois. Fast forward some years, and it's a guy driving a car through a college in California. It's hard to say. There's so many, and to be honest, I personally
stopped. If the Fed ever got their hands on dope shit, they're getting
back
promoted.
in 2012 in Newton, Connecticut, because that's when I realized that no matter what happened or how many people died, nothing was ever going to.
I would tell him I know where fucking
2012
Dominican Republican
I'm not telling him
is.
nothing.
XM15.
Yeah.
I know where an Ethiopian is.
20 elementary schools.
And I know where.
I don't know what Ethiopian you're talking about. So. Oh no, sorry.
It's funny. I hit pause. People stop talking. I hit pause. They're gonna start talking again.
You hit play if you start talking.
I hit pause. Like, go ahead, say what the fuck you're saying. And everyone just stops. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Listen,
it's almost like they're doing this on purpose.
They're trolling me, bro. They're holding me back, bro.
That's what happened in
They're holding me back, bro.
You think that this nation would do some deep reflection?
I mean, that's not a inaccurate statement. We might be
young men, mostly white.
We might be holding. We might be holding you back
to make sure that something this.
He's talking about the WYN.
Surely someone would pay a price for the death
of
innocent people, mostly innocent children. Innocent, mostly white children. But no, Instead, it actually
no,
WGN. Fuck my life.
People like Alex Jones made
WYN.
victims.
That's wreckage,
So
bro.
much so that he was sued into.
I thought it was the fucking Cubs. I'm like,
happened, it became clear.
Yeah, that's
nothing would
WGN,
ever
bro.
be done about these.
Whoever's
Fucker.
made this video, he needs to know that white people can do no wrong.
And the ideology that represents
That's how Nick Fuentes needs to start marketing himself. See, that's why he needs
This
to come.
idiot,
because to them,
dude, Duff, if this idiot ever
especially,
found you, bro,
it's worth it.
Lord help us
have
all.
A cost.
If he ever found,
Unfortunately, some gun deaths.
if he ever found you and Mad
so that
Hunter,
we
bro,
can
it'd be a
have
wrap.
The Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
yeah, that's crazy. He's doing that.
A source tells CNN that Trump ally and
Yeah, that's a
founder
little
of
much.
Turning
What do you
Point
do? I didn't even
said
hear. What do you do?
Charlie
I didn't hear.
Kirk was shot at an event
He was,
at a
yeah,
college
loud
campus in
gunshot.
Utah.
Kirk was actually shot in the neck. The school adding that Kirk was 20 minutes into speaking
when shots were fired from a nearby building. According
Why you keep
to
showing me
university,
MSNBC,
there
bro?
are reports that Kirk was hit.
We can hear the audio where an audience member asked Kirk about mass shooters in America right before the gunshot. An audience member says, do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Kirk says, counting or not counting gang violence, and that is when that single shot was fired.
It is my great
is actually
dishonor
crazy.
to be the person that says this and breaks this to you on television, but Charlie Kirk, according to the President of the United States, is dead.
Actually, Trump, I think,
When
ordered
I look at
not,
the very
not to announce it
public,
until he did
gruesome
it
murder of
himself.
Charlie Kirk,
Yeah,
I can't
allegedly.
Which is some weirdo shit.
For the
Yeah,
first
it's very
time
weird.
since 2012, I'm
Goodbye,
reminded
Trump,
of this
doing
brand of spectacle violence,
Yeah,
somewhere
Murder's Teen or
between
whatever the fuck.
terrorism, true crime, political violence, and
But
acceleration.
Beck was telling us he was still
But-
alive.
And here's an important part: almost always exclusively white, both in the victims but also the perpetrators. It's actually not ideal to talk openly about the perpetrators of mass shootings. I'm going to break some social mores in this video, among many other things.
And
The
all
reason
opinions
why
are
I
welcome,
call
man.
it spectacle violence is because
It's
for
insane
those
clown posse,
individuals
bro.
that do these horrific acts, do them for attention. It's why they write manifestos and send press kits.
Shout out to the oddities.
Some have even live streamed their crimes.
I find this
Talking
guy
about them
as
publicly
remember them,
ends
Jordan?
up being exactly
As
what they
accountable-
want.
as
And in
his
many
accountable.
ways, it motivates copycats. However,
one
at a
does.
certain point, I feel like certain conversations need to be had, especially when some of the main people who need to hear these things are trying very hard to avoid the subject. The underlying forces behind these events, behind the murder of Charlie Kirk and even the attempted murder of Donald Trump, are things the right deeply wants to avoid, because talking about these things might force many on the right to critically engage with the ongoing struggle that the right is in with its own ideology and the tangible results that ideology leads to, which, to put simply, is rampant unnecessary death. And by rampant unnecessary death, I'm not just talking about the multiple genocides happening across the world through American imperialism, or the many preventable deaths happening because of poor healthcare or poverty in America right now. I'm genuinely just talking about normal white people that are dying or killing themselves greatly due to the ideology that the right promotes throughout this country. I believe many modern conservatives, particularly the men, are in a death cult.
So what do we say about
It's not a hot
Obama?
take to speak to how the party of Trump
Joe
thrives on the
Biden.
pain and suffering of others. But today, for this video, I want to spend time on the real byproduct of that. The fact that the biggest body counts, at least here in the States, is actually other white people. And that the cult
This guy might have a different
Kirk
This
to
dude's
hide
fucking
this reality,
retarded.
or maybe make it seem like
He's gonna walk down the other side of this fucking argument.
with his death in particular.
Matt Hunter is punishing that keyboard right now.
To talk about
He's
Kirk,
in the chat
'cause
right now.
I try my
Right,
best
Dubster?
to avoid these types of headaches, but in the wake of his
Yo,
death,
Matt Hunter,
the
yeah,
right
what do you
has
think?
tried to
Go ahead,
fight
Dubster.
Martin Luther King, and Charlie Kirk directly insulted Martin Luther King's legacy.
Yeah, and the Civil Rights Act, though, let's be clear, created a beast, and that beast has now turned into an anti-white weapon.
Take it out of context, probably.
And that's the reality.
So there's a need for some direct
This guy
pushback
is
and
no
response
better
in
than
this
Charlie Kirk, though.
Also, I have to admit, I'm
Nah,
a bit
he's
fearful of
out
the
of
response
context.
this might get from the right. They seem to feel like this one time, nobody should disagree with their
There's more
views of
suspension of
this guy or
disbelief
make
towards
fun of
him
the fact
being a
that he
strategist
died,
versus
that nobody should make jokes about
Charlie
a person who was
being just
overtly
a bot
hateful and
for
ugly to
the
them.
White House.
Mind you that
Yeah,
in the days
that
after
is
the death of George Floyd,
possible
conservatives created
separation.
the George Floyd Challenge on social media, where they took pictures of themselves mocking Floyd's last
Jesus
moments before his
Christ.
death.
Yeah,
And
it's
to
kinda
this
crazy.
day, they are
Fucked
so
up.
obsessed with
Dubster,
mocking
where's your
him
picture
that
at?
they're still keeping him alive through memes and AI. But somehow,
Matt Hunter, where's your
Charlie Kirk
picture
is
at?
the reason
Oh,
why.
you guys are the
So
same guy? Okay.
You guys got that one. With that said,
Dubster had a real cop's knee on
this
his
is
back.
going to
Yeah,
be
a little bit to the left.
ugly,
A little bit to the left.
Video at times. I'm going to talk candidly and maybe even
while he wears his free Chauvin t-shirt.
Mental illness and mass murder and all the isms.
Free Chauvin.
It was Chauvin's brother. Like,
by the end, this is definitely a video that will make you.
I would never free the Japs.
It made me
what are you talking about? Free Shogun.
But
he has them wear the same uniform that Chauvin.
You're an idiot. Free Shogun.
Finally are out of this situation that many people saw this nonsense for what it was and will hopefully be there to inform those.
Why would I free a fucking Japanese person?
Charlie Kirk was
fucking idiot.
Context in which he lived.
Talking about
These
Japan,
ugly
Dubster, you
times
got shit in your
won't
ears?
last forever, and historical record is needed lest we carelessly repeat avoidable mistakes. So let's talk about Charlie Kirk and the cult that killed him. Part 1: the origins of the culture war.
Here we go. Some bullshit.
The American family, liberty, freedom,
Anthony,
the Constitution.
let the wreckage happen. Why do you keep jumping out ahead of this? You can't help but spoil, can it?
You are on.
Sit back and watch the fucking thing. Then make your points.
What did I spoil? What did I spoil?
This is gonna be terrible. Fucking watch it
Culture
first.
war began 2020.
Young men do not know how to control themselves. Ladies, would
It's
you
him fan doing all the time.
Who?
Don't worry. I'm gonna do the
fuck! I
whole other
lost.
side of this in a
Or
second,
like
so
his
you
first
better be ready.
quarter, 1 minute
You
gone
better be
by.
ready. There
Yo,
I'll
Blake
go.
Coral's selling me right now. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
It's gonna be an equal opportunity.
I made a
offender.
ticket. I forgot.
To understand Charlie Kirk
Nah, I didn't make it. I'm doing fantasy, bro. I'm trying to get these $1,200.
Will he be the last of his
Taking
kind?
away
In fact, he's part of a
FanDuel until
long-standing
you learn to
tradition of
behave.
right-wing.
I'm not using FanDuel.
And he's got
I
bigger goals.
I got a
too.
loophole.
Politics, the right
I got a loophole for you, Joe.
Say on their podcast. But
Go ahead, take
instead,
FanDuel.
he was
FanDuel just take my
furthering a
money.
far-right agenda in this country, and this
All
is
right, I'll take the
apparent
other
just
betting
how
app then,
far the
whichever
right
one you're
has been able
using.
to shift the overs and
Yo, that
in
FanDuel
terms
sent
of
me
what
my
are even
net earnings. They're like, your
acceptable
mine
things
is
to say when we
$41
live in our modern society. For example,
for the year,
no
Jordan.
American
40
would
years.
have
I ain't
support or
opening that
even
bitch,
seriously
bro.
engage with the
I ain't looking at
idea
it. I
of
don't
a
wanna
president
know.
getting a third
I
term.
might
Ever
is
since
41.
FDR did it
I don't
nearly
know.
75 years
And I
ago.
hit
It's
big
literally
on
in
a
the
couple.
Constitution.
And I might is
However, for
41.
weeks now, as of recording,
I will draw a line
Republicans,
on my
even
phone and
Republican
make it look like a
officials
positive,
have
bro.
been seriously
Positive,
priming
whatever the
Americans for
fuck I
the
want.
argument that Trump should get a third term and how that's actually okay under the Constitution.
We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24.
Yo, he scored, yo.
And President Trump will be the president of the United States, and the country needs him to be president.
Yo, we're lit, bro.
President Trump to run for a third term. He's teasing that.
1 yard TD, man.
You know, if you read the Constitution, it says it's not. But if
I ain't gonna lie, man. That's a
You
hell
know,
of a
you know what they
team,
could do is they could just if he,
circumstances,
when he passes away or whatever,
might be
he's getting an
able to
old
go around
man,
the Constitution.
they're gonna just use whatever machine that they've taught to be Trump, and then they'll just have his voters vote for that algorithm, vote for that. Like, look, you're just this is the third
Vote
Not
for
to
anybody on the left.
Bush, who was very, very bad.
Isn't that what they're
the
already
fact
doing?
that he's the last Republican
Exactly.
president before Trump has managed to whitewash his
I mean, that's just
past.
kind of appointing
He was
J.D.
not good.
Vance,
Don't
but
let
with
the
more
old
stats.
sad man stuff fool you.
They do have
But
limits,
as bad
though.
as he was,
They have limits
he
to what
never
they
would have
can do.
thought of sending troops in the military.
Could they convince the
and
public to
the
vote for
National
them?
Guard to American cities and states.
Just
that he
scared
wanted
to know.
Convince their
but Trump
cultists
is
to vote for
threatening
them.
to
That's for
send
fucking
American
sure.
troops to low-crime cities like Portland, stating that they need to be cleaned up, ignoring the much more dangerous cities in red states. And the right eats this all up. Mind you, and this will be a recurring
Bro,
theme,
Blake Corum
none of
scored,
this is really
bro. I
helping
can't believe it.
Anthony,
anyone,
lock
let
the
alone
fuck
many
in.
of the working-class white people who
Christ.
voted
Try
for
to get this
Trump.
money, bro.
While Trump's
He
appeal
already
is
decided-
more diverse than people
Anthony
like
already
to
said
believe,
it's
this
gonna be
is
bad,
something
y'all.
you
All right,
have
I'm
to
already
acknowledge.
jumping into that.
I'm
At
watching
end
the
of
fucking
day,
video,
his
bro.
base, like
I'm
all
watching.
You gotta check
Republicans
out.
for
Check out.
years, has been
You're right.
among
I'm watching the video,
uneducated
bro.
whites and rural white people. People who, for the most part, have never benefited from his policies. For example, regarding the ongoing government shutdown that is still in place as of writing, the shutdown is happening because Republicans want to make major cuts to many social safety net programs, which will
Goddamn, I
impact
saw it.
poor Americans. And despite the efforts of Republicans,
No, you
for
check
decades
in.
to
You'll
seem
lock in,
like
bro.
the poor
Bitch,
are
this country
only
was not
undeserving
made
black
for
and brown
safety
people
nets.
leeching off the government. The majority
Dumb
of Americans
motherfucker.
receiving those
What was it
benefits
made for,
are white.
Dubster?
And these same white people will support Trump literally to their death. Why is this the case?
And according to
And
who?
what does it
Because I
have
feel
to
like
do with
a lot of
Charlie
people have different
To make
opinions
sense of
about
that, I want to dive into the concept of a culture war, because it's through the culture
Not an
war
opinion.
that all of this is possible. And
But
they know
didn't you
this
benefit
because
off of
Charlie
some
Kirk
way?
actually named his college tour.
Yeah, I
Better.
leached like
Culture
you.
war tour.
I leached
So
like
switching
you.
gears
Whoa,
for a
whoa,
second.
whoa, whoa, what?
What's wrong with that?
Whoa, 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 what?
Social media
You're saying
in
it's
the
not built
months
off of
preceding
safety
What'd you
the
say?
murder of Charlie Kirk.
You
You probably
benefited
caught
off
wind
of
of
it,
two other tragic killings.
Nothing wrong
The
with
killings of Austin
Your life
Metcalf
changed under
and
Joe Biden.
Iriana
I just
Zarutska
want to
both went
put that on the
viral
record.
Twitter as
Joe
these were
Biden
two
changed your
young
life
white
for
lives
the
ended
better.
by
No,
black
not
Dubster, who are you
Both of
talking
those
to?
black men
Ron
faced immediate
DeSantis.
legal
Who you
charges.
talking?
I want to be clear. It's
Is he are you
genuinely
talking to me?
sad, and I send condolences to their families, regardless of the circumstances of their death. It's tragic
Sure.
when people die like this,
Sure.
especially when their deaths have
It's
become
super
flashbacks
You want
to
the
culture
fucking-
wars online.
You want the
Austin
heat?
Metcalf's
All
father in
right, you
particular
can have it
showed
too.
an inspirational
Bro,
level of
yo.
grace in the aftermath
Yo.
of his son's death that should be commended.
You okay, Dubster?
You should keep that
father's
heat
Need a
grace
hug?
where he's
Yeah,
got it,
being
that's
okay?
copied by the
great.
American
That's
right.
No need to
crazy
unleash the
statement,
heat.
bro.
Talk about
Wouldn't a
right.
woman tell you I'll
not
give
the
you the
original
heat?
use
No,
of that
this
term,
guy.
by the way.
I don't know what's
Racism
going
version is
on.
basically
I
white
don't know what's
people
going on
not
here, bro.
being able to be openly racist. Similarly, Zarutska's death spurred legislative initiatives to reinstate
It's like-
and
it's like-
expedite the death penalty in North Carolina,
I ain't gonna
which,
say it.
yikes, is really all I can say to that. And this is all after
Dubster,
President Trump
that's
weaponized the
weird
deaths
though.
of
Why do
white
you
women
say
at
stuff
the
like
hands
that?
of immigrants all through his
It's
campaign
not built
trail
off
as
of
a way to
safety nets
bolster his
because you-
anti-immigrant agenda. And now we have ICE
I didn't
kidnapping
You took
people
advantage
off
of
the
them.
street,
Safety net.
even in churches,
I
gyms,
didn't
and
use the
public
safety
schools.
net. I used the charity of churches.
I mean, it literally was built off safety nets. What were slaves? Aren't those safety nets?
Which I'm going to show you, and it's a
What?
tape of a great.
What were slaves? Were they not safety nets?
Night accused of killing a 12-year-old girl.
Police say these
Bartered
strangled her before
bartered
taking her into that
tools.
creek. Both men were in the
Yeah,
country
thank you.
illegally.
We'll move on.
There are hundreds and even thousands of cases.
Oh wait, you said you use churches, but
people coming in
for your CDL, wasn't that like a government thing?
horrible people.
And as I saw these stories
He doesn't believe in
online,
government.
Yeah, Ron
already
DeSantis.
foaming at the mouth.
So what the fuck are you talking about?
Conservatives.
It's not built off the
Hey,
safety
hey,
nets.
hey, I got a
What
tough
about
question.
white on white
Who
crime?
funded
What
Ron
about
DeSantis'
Vincent
program?
Bolletaro, the young Charlie Kirk fan who murdered two
Florida?
teenage girls?
The
who
federal
he had been
fucking
stalking
government
for what
does it.
seemed like
So
months.
what are you
He
talking
ended up
about?
getting a restraining
You got a
order
grant,
against him,
right?
by
Who
the
funds
way.
those grants? It
Bolletaro's
ain't
family
Florida,
is connected to
motherfucker.
law
Florida gets
enforcement,
it
but
from
clearly
someone
they're
else.
very picky about who they need to protect.
No, this
and
was a
serve.
Florida grant.
Or what about
Yeah. Who gave it to them?
countless other stories of white
Who gave
women
them the money
murdered
to
by white
Florida.
men
make
since the
that
beginning
happen?
of time? Gabby Petito, Lacey
Yeah, keep
Peterson,
telling yourself
Natalie
it's Florida.
Holloway, the little girl that John Benet
Why do you
Ramsey.
say shit against safety
I've been
nets if
seeing
you-
that girl's face
use them?
since I
What's
was
wrong
a
with them?
child. It's actually cursed.
Why not say like, yo, they helped
Surely
me?
other young white women have been murdered in North
Because
Carolina,
actually,
where
if
their
there was
deaths
no
not
safety
worthy of
net, there was no
attempting to
need
reinstate the
for
death
truck
penalty.
driving
What is it
anyway.
about DeCarlos Brown, the severely mentally ill black man that killed Iriana, that warrants such a response?
Well, I'm confused.
Do
then.
you
What-
think
what
that black
exactly-
men are
but I
the
don't wanna
most pressing
misconstrue
danger
what you
to
did.
white women in this country?
What-
If you do, it's probably
Okay,
because you're racist.
so
and low-key
previous
sexist.
to February 22, I
You're
think.
being recorded, so just if you don't want to spill out your own personal job employment history stuff.
Now, Jordan, what this guy's doing, right? FD. What do you think of that right now?
I'm leaving it up to Dubster what he wants to say.
The
About
narrative.
it. I just gave him the heads up. You may have forgotten.
Previous to February 2022, there was no license. I think that was what it was. There was no license for. Before that date, you could get private truck driving lessons for about $1,800. Then it became bare minimum. As soon as certified schooling was required, and then you get a license, it was basically $5,000 was bare minimum.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what's going on in Florida. Schools here are
So
not charging $5,000.
making it a license, like, and required schooling was actually a government trick on the population anyway.
Well, but how did you, like, did you benefit from that?
Played the game, man.
Well, that's
not
so
the
what's
game.
wrong with it?
Not the game. Not the game.
Then what's wrong with it? If you
Shut the
go
game off, and we can go. Shut the game off, and we can go back to affordable ways.
That's stupid.
Affordable ways for this to happen.
Walk it how you talk it. Like that's stupid. You say you're against this stuff, but
You
then
singing
use
Chris
it.
Brown, bro?
I am
I heard that
against
song
it.
today on the
And
radio.
why do you
But I'm
use
not
it?
paying. I'm not paying twice
Stuck in
as
my head.
much of hard fucking work just because someone else wants to fucking cheat the system. I might as well cheat the system too. That's what we're
Well,
doing.
So you,
We're
you
robbing.
gotta enroll through a company,
We
right?
are.
Didn't you get
We
enrolled
are
through a company?
robbing.
That's not what you
What?
said though, bro.
Didn't you get enrolled through a company?
I
Like
apologize.
you went
too.
through.
They didn't pay for it.
I'm never gonna
Whatever.
finish this doc. Fuck. I'll be right back.
The 2-time back-to-back.
Well, California's been giving East Indian CDLs just for paying $200 extra to the fucking clerk.
Well, that's
And they're illegal.
entirely different.
All I'm
They
saying
get it
is
free.
all I'm saying is you dubs are admitting, hey, I benefit from this.
You made
But
your
then a
point.
minute ago you were just like, oh, this isn't a government of a safety net.
Dude, I utilized the only option according to the time frame that I was fucked with.
Dude, I'm actually interested in this fucking box now, dude. And this fucker keeps talking.
I forgot the fucking words.
All right, you can keep playing, bro. I'm sorry.
I need the Santana version. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Joel's.
They didn't play that. They played the regular Run It version, man.
I forgot about that already.
That annoyed
Joel.
me.
I know you like that whistle song too.
I can't do it.
You can play, bro.
The mic wouldn't even pick it up. I whistled right now. Like, where.
Oh, you didn't hear that? I just did it.
I didn't hear that. The whistle's
That's
not going to
crazy.
get picked up on fucking microphone.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I have a brand
Bro,
new microphone sitting right there right now.
If you knew somebody with a truck
Too late.
and he just let you borrow it for the test before that date, you could just take the test.
Yeah, my cousin offered me that actually. I might take him up on it.
No, you can't now. You have to be a certified school lessons now.
No, well,
Nationwide.
maybe in your state.
Nationwide.
I didn't hear about any of this.
It was like 2022, I think. It could have been previous to that.
Fuck, I
I'm
think
just
you're
not
right,
exactly
dude.
sure.
I think you're fucking right, actually.
Yeah, but previous to that date, if somebody let you borrow a truck, the only thing was take the test.
Anyways, press play.
That's what Lesnar said. He said, let me take the test. Testosterone.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Total.
Finally, back to our
I only have so
program.
much room with y'all right now. You can bet money, like literally.
He made.
Don't make this bet because you.
All right, I'm gonna pause again. He made some. Now, once again, he is coming from a perspective, a political perspective. He has a certain bias, 100%. But if you can't tell that one administration to the next treats like certain social scenarios differently, you're out of your fucking mind. I'm sorry, they do.
Yeah, that's true.
They do that. So,
of course.
There was a shooting on the day of Charlie Kirk. There was a shooting, some kid shooting up some place, right?
It was a school in Colorado that got shot at.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a place in Utah that also wasn't there something happening in there where there was like a mass shooting thing?
I think I
Like a
heard
school
that,
shooting?
but why do I feel like they debunked that, or maybe facts got screwed up?
Okay, fair enough. It's just like
Don't take my word on that. I'm just saying. I think I heard. I heard what you're talking about, but I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Disregard everything I said. I can't.
The only
say.
other shooting I know about is that Colorado.
Judge,
school
strike
down
that
there.
from the record right now.
Yeah, strike that from the record. I plead the fifth.
But either way, they do. Let's be real. People, you can tell how someone doesn't give a fuck about these people. When I said I care more about Charlie Kirk than these motherfuckers do, I meant that. So, thus, Charlie Kirk's death is used as a thing. Or someone else's
even
like
Michael
shooting.
Brown, bro.
You ignore
Even
it.
Michael Brown.
Exactly.
And the kid who's a Trayvon.
Trayvon Martin. Yeah.
All those guys get. It's like they didn't exist. They're just people. They're just a symbol of hatred or like galvanizing a group to support a policy.
Well, let's be honest. Under Obama, right, where people view him as, oh, he's an SJW some people say communists or socialists. You know,
fucking
hyper
Hunter
black rights, whatever the fuck. A lot of shootings of black kids were happening under Obama, and he did nothing
got done.
fucking about it. Nothing. In fact, it was just used as a political football, just like Charlie
As
Kirk's
a
being
matter of
used by the
fact,
administration.
didn't he had Eric Holder look into some shit, and he found nothing. Well, not that he didn't find nothing. He didn't do nothing, and then he brought in Loretta Lynch, and she didn't do nothing, and it was basically like virtue signaling, essentially.
It's a bunch of motherfuckers keeping a seat warm.
Freddie Gray, Mike Brown, like in succession, year by year by year, these guys are getting killed in high profile, like cameras all over the situation.
Flando Castile,
Riots,
if I could throw
looting.
another name in here.
People forget, start over again. Riots, murder, riots, looting, start over again. Murder, riots, looting, start over again.
Yep. And I mean,
and nothing gets done.
The notorious Flint water incident with Barack Obama.
Oh yeah, and then the proverbial, we need more gun restrictions. Get off my lawn is the response to that.
It's basically to say like you're getting fucked, audience, no matter what side you're.
Yeah,
on.
like the 2010s were like fucking weird, bro.
I like how you guys are ignoring Trayvon Martin was attacking that guy.
Who, George
and then
Zimmerman?
Michael Brown was fucking robbing a place.
So if
You mean
somebody
selling cigarettes,
steals-
that guy?
Brown punched a cop in the face
I
as he was
forgot,
sitting in his cruiser.
Eric
Mike
Gardner.
Brown got
Eric
shot.
Gardner,
because
that's
of
the
his
cigarette
dick.
guy.
What Eric Gardner do, Dubster?
Yeah,
no, hold up.
that one's
Dubster.
that
What
one's
Eric Gardner
true.
do?
That's an actual victim of police crime.
Oh, that's
Cigarette
What Freddie
selling
Gray do,
in New York
hey,
City.
Dubster, what did Freddie Gray do?
I don't remember Freddie Gray.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. You know, he ran away from the cops, and they stopped him, thinking he was somebody else, and his natural inclination was to run away, and they put him in the fucking paddy wagon and broke his back, and he succumbed of the injuries they gave him in the fucking van. That's what Freddie Gray did. Did he do something wrong?
He ran away from the police.
So he deserved to get his back
Hey,
broken.
yo, Dubster, lock in, bro. Don't troll. Lock in.
Tamir Rice do?
What did Tamir Rice do? Well, he had a
What's cause and effect? What's cause and effect?
He had
What's
like a
cause and
toy
effect,
gun, and
Anthony?
the cop thought
See
cop saw a 5-year-old with an object that looked like a gun, and he shot the kid. Which is like, dude, he's a fucking kid.
What happened to answering things for real,
That's
Dubster?
good.
Or do I have to embarrass you again?
I did. What's cause and effect? You break the law, fucking.
What
cops
the
are
kid
gonna
broke the law?
arrest you
Tamir
if
Rice
you
broke the law,
resist.
Dustin? What
I'm not
law
talking
did
about
Tamir
that.
Rice break?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what you said, Freddie Gray. I'm going off of what you said.
He
I don't know
didn't
nothing
break
about
a
Freddie
law.
Gray.
He was stopped.
Running from the
under
police
false
is a crime.
pretenses. And then, like a week later, they caught a cop in Baltimore planting drugs on kids, and he got fired. And then the mayor lost her fucking job. The whole cop.
Fleeing from the police on foot is a misdemeanor. Fleeing from the police in a vehicle is a felony. Remember that. You ever get caught?
Except they pop out of nowhere. See that? It's like whack-a-mole almost.
or a Hydra.
Hydra's stupid. Anyways, I was just making a simple point. Like, yeah, people do abuse these narratives for things. Not saying he's not going to do that right now. I'm just saying other people have, and that's a worthy point of looking at. Anyways, let's continue with this attempted watch party of this documentary. Here we go.
You'll lose it, that if a young white woman is murdered in North Carolina, it will probably be from her white boyfriend or husband, because all crime in this country is intraracial. At least 80% of white victims of violent crime, the perpetrator of that violence is also white. White people make up 74% of familial violence victims, meaning child abuse, domestic violence, and familicide, which makes sense because most family violence offenders are white, and females make up 80% of the victims for family violence, again, usually killed by a boyfriend or husband, very rarely a stranger, and considering that only around 10% of black men have a white spouse, the biggest threat to any white woman in this country by far is a straight white man. And that goes not just for murder, but also assault and especially rape and molestation. Yet somehow new laws form when a
I've went
black
over
man
that
is the
before.
perpetrator, as if it's the right of white men to abuse, harm, and kill women that look like them. And it doesn't require new laws for putting convicts to death when they do it. And don't get me wrong, the rate of intimate partner violence in the black community is awful in so many ways, but don't all lives matter, y'all? Sure.
Sorry, I have to pause it again. Just real quick, disclaimer real fast, because I can, once again, hear Matt Hunter typing away. This guy is the perfect, he's Matt Hunter's soulmate, aka Dubster. These guys are soulmates with each other. This is not where I come from in regards to argumentation. In fact, I've seen stats before that he's brought up that I have not actually divulged before, because it's more of like, oh, but look what you guys did. It's so stupid. It's so fucking dumb. But that's the avenue this guy's probably going to take, and it's unfortunate. Go ahead.
So the argument from the right would be, okay, we agree with you on that white people are more often perpetrating crimes on white people, and black people are more often perpetrating crimes on black people. But when it is an interracial crime, as in crossing races, more often than not, according to statistics, it is the black person that is doing the crime more often to the white person.
Okay, but
That's
if you dig further, like if you dig further into stats and all that stuff, it's not gonna look nice.
No, that is the stats. That is the actual truth.
but
He's lying right there.
no, I don't think. Did he say that?
He didn't say anything about that.
I don't think he said anything about
He's
that.
He's implying what you guys were implying about white crime on black people in Obama's time.
What?
Like that? What you guys were bringing up?
No. There's just
He didn't mention that anywhere.
What I mentioned was, well, we didn't even mention that either. I mentioned cops on young black guys, or not even young, just all that stuff. And the idea of bringing that up was Obama didn't stop any of that.
How could he stop it?
I know, but like that's like he's saying right now, right? This guy right here.
It's like we're talking about individuals taking actions.
I was talking about
pass a new law.
Holy fuck! I was talking about administrations using narratives. As in, if Obama, like, after he leaves office, is like, oh my God, look what's happening to the young black kids. Like, you were in office when a lot of these things were happening. So what the fuck? That was my point. As in, like, any administration will use narratives or ignore things for the sake of making themselves look good. Hopefully you got that.
Okay.
But, yeah, there's other stats that, once again.
I thought he did say the opposite of the reality on interracial crime.
He didn't say anything about interracial. Not really.
No. He didn't. He brought up the
He
things
said
that
numbers were
I
higher.
refused to bring up. Kinda. Maybe I brought them up before, but I didn't really bring them up. Of things that are a little bit, at least Nick Fuentes would say, are darker. But let's move on. Here we go.
Surely we shouldn't only focus on black people in this situation, not if what we actually care about are these innocent white lives. And isn't this kind of gross? Is this what y'all watch me for? Some of y'all, that's what y'all want out of me. Ugh. I hate it. I hate y'all so much.
Okay.
Sure, when you go low, going lower is a thing. But at the end of the day, bringing up white crime statistics in this way should just really make you feel icky. It's too much like the stuff they do. You know, further, it's not like any racist in the audience will suddenly be convinced to rethink their ways based on this information. And I'll come back to this in a moment, but this is not how actual minds are changed in reality. If racism or any other ism were an issue of logic and information, would have solved that issue years ago. But it's very clear after literal generations of learning and educating that no amount of explaining the truth to racists changes the way they see things. Racism's power to endure for so long in this country isn't due to hate. I hate that we talk about racism as an issue of hate because that allows for so many people, so many very racist people, to create distance from themselves and the actual damage they do with their racism because they don't necessarily feel hatred in their hearts when they do it, and they're probably correct. Racism isn't about hate. It's about indifference to harm being done to people that don't look like you, especially if that harm is useful for how you maintain your own status quo. Racism is still here because it has utility as an organizing social framework for white Americans. The role racism plays in this country is for building consensus and community. It's almost ritualistic in its use.
I am a Western chauvinist.
The Fed.
Look at the baseball helmet.
White youth for a generation have made racist jokes, not as an expression of hate, but almost as an initiation into whiteness as a concept, performing the agreement amongst each other that blackness is beneath them and unworthy of sanctity. This is why racist group chats exist so prominently, such as the one the Young Republicans got caught on earlier this year. This is why white kids on Omegle and other chat random sites and Call of Duty lobbies hurl slurs from the safety of their perceived anonymity, going all the way back to slavery. This is why poor whites
they do that to troll.
Low
Little
standards
kids
of
on
living,
Call of Duty.
but fought for the Confederacy because it preserved their way of life, as wretched as that way of life was. The lynchings of black people during slavery.
I played plenty of Xbox Live lobbies way back when. I know what goes on.
They would make flyers and sell food as they watched black bodies burn and hang from the poplar trees. Then afterwards, someone even take their body parts as souvenirs. Feel free to Google this. I am not making this up. The biggest falsehood about racism is that it's about the hatred of any group of people. But in reality, racism is about a perverse love for whiteness and the love language through which that is expressed. And this is just the overt stuff that whites will admit you shouldn't do. We shouldn't lynch people. We shouldn't say the N-word. They keep doing it and saying it's a joke, but they know they shouldn't. And the reason why that is still such a focus because it serves as the cover for the much more harmful systemic racism that most
dirty
whites,
words
including
that their
Charlie
parents
Kirk,
wouldn't let them
would never
do,
even
bro. Like,
admit
come on.
exists.
There is nothing fascistic about deporting people in your country.
Basically, it's the equivalent of sneaking into a fucking R-rated movie.
Yeah,
how many of you students out there feel as if you'd be graded differently?
Or fucking sneaking
or a Trump supporter, raise
or
your hand.
it's like sneaking a fucking Playboy out in your jacket when you're 17.
Fascism. That is definitional fascism.
Do you think
it's frat boys version of punk rock?
Do you think a few cherry pick statistics and some witty clapbacks is going to
the
change
illusion
this?
of punk rock?
No.
I'm saying frat boy version.
This is the
of punk
culture
rock.
wars.
And busy schedule.
Punk rock would they beat you to shit. They beat the fuck out of you.
College campuses every single day. We're fighting for the next generation.
Oh yeah.
And to know that we have the
They'd fuck you
backing
up.
of the most successable president of our generation means the world. Because look, we are in a
But Jordan,
right
I got a 10 right
conservatism
here.
is the new counterculture. Remember?
Oh
yeah.
And to have the
culture war
president
stuff.
take out of his schedule.
Shout out to fucking
exchange some ideas.
what's her face, Tommy Lahren.
And look, this is a battle that we're going to win.
And beyond that, we
Let her
spoke
spank
about
me.
the black community and black issues.
Jordan, we're in public.
That's
But then
fucked
again,
up.
you probably let her do that in public.
Culture wars are
just
to
violated
American
Candace right there,
into
by the way.
American politics in general. And this is because culture wars have effectively replaced.
I'd violate Candace too.
for most
She's
people,
fucking hot.
Right and left. But specifically for the right, it has been instrumental in convincing many people to vote against their best interests. When regular people are surveyed about policies, they almost
white women are
always
black
lean
men's
toward
kryptonite,
more progressive
black women are
policies,
white
more
dudes'
tax on the
kryptonite,
rich,
bro.
less
We know
government
it.
in people's personal lives.
And we all know it,
sensible
too.
gun control laws, etc. It's not universal. Many Americans support tougher
Especially
border
Candace
laws, for
Owens type.
example, but very few desire to see what's actually been happening under Trump since he's been elected. Even attitudes on abortion rights.
So Jordan, are you telling me you wouldn't get cozy with Angela Bassett?
Conservative voters constantly vote against.
Honestly, in my
themselves.
dreams,
who
I
Angela
already
Bassett
do.
is.
It or
I already
not.
have, Joe.
And even
My
in
dreams.
moments where they do realize it, they still don't care because, as I've been saying,
But if it comes
this
to
is
fruition,
a cult. And the culture
I ain't
wars
denying it,
are
bro.
their,
Amen.
deep lore tactics.
Angela Bassett
The
is
culture
the
wars,
goddess.
ironically,
Amen.
are proof that facts actually should care about feelings because people have been using feelings to override facts in this country for 100 plus years. There's so many examples of this, both historical and recent. One is that conservatives are more likely to die from COVID due to vaccine hesitancy and resistance to masks.
Oh my
Despite
God,
the fact that
COVID.
science,
Shut
logic,
up.
and so much information was telling them that masking and vaccines would save their lives.
Science
so
and
many
logic.
Jordan for a moment.
Literally,
I
I remember.
That's your test right there. But go ahead, Joe.
Well, the question to ask is, well, we know that a lot of people distrusted those vaccines at the time, but the question is why? I didn't trust them because I know who the fuck was making it, and I know those motherfuckers have some very dirty history that they would prefer to keep buried.
Yes. Oh yes.
Yeah. If you want to know how I feel about Pfizer, go ask those Nigerians who got really sick in the 90s.
Me and you directly could ask like about family issues in regards to outside of COVID. Could actually ask questions about companies like Pfizer or Bayer or any of these fucking companies.
I got so much fucking shit to say, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to get started because then this video will be even longer than it.
Fair enough. But
And I don't want to contribute to that.
Well, I got it from watching whenever it broke out in China and the cops that were arresting the people with COVID weren't wearing full hazmat suits. I was like, well, that's awfully fucking dumb. Wait.
Fair enough, logically.
That's too dumb to be real. That's too dumb enough to be real. Like, what the fuck is this?
We can't just like
from that moment on, everything else starts stacking on top. It's like, okay, this is all bullshit.
I get your logic of that, but I really want to like emphasize that my sense in regards to the vaccine thing, it's not political. It is not because one team said this and the other team said that, or whatever. It actually is like my personal sense of logic looking at the scenario, and this is how I feel. Now, I did leave it like quite a bit of a mystery, as in like I don't know exactly what's going on. I said that at the time. I made videos on that stuff. Like I don't fucking exactly know, but I understand the moral question in regards to people like, hey, the vaccine will kill you, or not getting the vaccine will kill you. I get the moral quandary you're in. Like I get that. The moral kind of conundrum you're in. I get that. But to just leap on one thing or another is, to me, kind of batshit to do. I think it's
not helpful.
Yeah, but that's just me just saying. Like, my opinion about that is not political. It's not. I'm a Trump supporter because I question the vaccine at all. Like, I'm not. That's not me at all. But I do think it's worth questioning. I really do. So him just saying that is, to me, like an IQ test. You don't trust the science? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Huh? The fuck does that mean in actual reality? Trust the fucking science? Excuse me?
Well, who's doing the science?
Well, that, and also, like, just saying, like, science, like, this thing, this apparatus, instead of the actual application of science or scientific method. Right? Oh, science says this. Like, that sounds stupid. That sounds dumb as rocks to me.
Because science itself is just a process. It's a how. It's how we figure things out.
But you heard the way he was kind of using that, right? Where it's just like, the science says, like,
yeah, it's that pop culture definition that I've been frustrated by for years, and I'm probably never going to win that battle.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But okay, all right, here we go. It's just showing your political colors that you're flying instead of being about actual like truth seeking. In my humble opinion, they could say more than just trust the science. It's stupid. All right, here we go.
Despite the fact that science, logic, and so much information was telling them that masking and vaccines would save their lives, so many conservatives were literally like, I remember vividly, I'll see if I can find the clip, a guy that was on a respirator talking about how he doesn't regret not getting a vaccine or masking, and then he died 2 days later.
I immediately asked Christopher, why hadn't he gotten the vaccine?
I'm more of a libertarian.
They're acting like he'd get like it's fucking Popeye and spinach. He'd get the vaccine. All of a sudden, like, fucking Superman now. Like, no.
Wait,
it was eerie to hear
he's got Charlie Kirk's death in this, and he still believes this? By 2025? Wow.
Once again, I said, I hope this guy means well, and he's just ignoring this. But he might just be kind of a, what's the word? Full of shit.
Just
on a
years
team.
later,
On a team or something like that.
A lot worse.
Yeah, you fell for something.
Christopher Green
5
died
years ago.
9 days after
I
this
hope
interview.
Still falling
Dubster,
for it.
I hope he's ignorant.
53 years old.
I hope he's ignorant. It could be worse, by the way. That's worth questioning.
Well, he fell for it one way or another.
Countless
He
examples
fell
of
for it.
conservatives directly being hurt by Trump's policies
but you know what I
on
mean by,
tariffs
like,
or
separating
ICE crackdowns, people's mail order brides being deported, and it's often people who voted for him, and whether or not they regret it is up for grabs. But understand, pointing this out about Trump is low-hanging fruit because
Yo, Trump did Operation Warp Speed, you dummy.
Time in this country, especially when it
The
comes
vaccine
to
wave.
Trump supported it.
For example,
He
consider
supported it.
In his second term, he brought Pfizer people back in. What are we talking about? Whatever. Okay. It's hard to be like, how are you that stupid? Like, this is your job. How are you this fucking stupid? Right? Once again,
He did a rally with Pfizer, and the Republicans that showed up, like, did a full crowd boo almost. Almost a full crowd was booing at the Pfizer guy when he stood up on the stage next to Trump.
yes, and they are also brought back in regards to like kind of more closed scenario in the Oval Office meetings with Pfizer execs and whoever the Dr. Drew or the fuck, right?
Bill Gates.
Yeah, Bill Gates. There you go. So it's like, what is that? How you ignorant of that? How'd that happen? And it's like, yo, either you're dumber than you're letting on, or you're full of fucking shit, my man. Well, let's find out. Either way, it's like, it's not about the vaccine. It's about Charlie Kirk stuff. And guess what? There's tells everywhere you look. If someone's actually like paying attention, there will be tells. But here we go.
Free health is something that the rest of the developed world has had for more
go
than
ahead,
half a
talk over him,
century.
Dr. God.
And it should and would be here in America if not for the utilization of culture wars. Numerous American presidents from a variety of political standpoints, going back to the early 1900s, have tried to create a
Yes, people
universal
going against the
healthcare
vaccine
system
because of
that was
political
free
reasons
to
are fucking
Americans, but
idiots.
were
I
stymied
agree.
by capitalistic and conservative entities using
agree
the
with that.
emotionally manipulative culture war methods
Right.
of
I
convincing
agree
the
with you
masses
there.
that having free healthcare was somehow
should be
not
bad.
in
Guess
their
what?
best
People
interest.
thinking.
President Truman was reelected.
People on both
marginally
sides
on a
took the
campaign
vaccine.
for
People
a
on both
single-payer
sides
national
didn't
health
take the
plan,
vaccine.
and the Democratic Party gained control of Congress. At the same time, Americans were on edge after World War II, and a lot of that fear was placed broadly on the construct of communism. This fear towards communism and communists, which
This is you, Dexter.
infested the world through the Cold War,
your mind virus.
became known as the Red Scare. Opponents of the WMD healthcare bill took advantage of these fears to squander its success. The AMA was one of these opponents, and with help from public
I hate this guy's
relations
voice
firm
already.
Whitaker and Baxter, launched one of the largest lobbying efforts of its time. The group
Message,
spent over $4.5 million, $48 million in today's dollars, on advertisements,
Hey, he kinda sounds like you, bro.
magazines, letters,
Does he?
and radio stations across the country. Slogans played on communist fears with titles such as "A Threat to Health" and "A Threat to Freedom," and utilized the term socialized medicine whenever possible. Public opinion in support of government health insurance fell from 74% in 1942 to 51%
like
by
me. I don't talk like
1949,
this
just a
stupid
year
shit.
after President Truman was voted
fucking
into
stats.
office.
The same thing happened with the New Deal back in the 1930s. Was the New Deal the 1930s? Am I tripping?
Why is this road open?
Yeah, okay.
Holy
The
fuck.
New Deal was at its core a socialist work program that lifted millions of Americans into the middle class out of poverty. But it only passed because it was initially designed to exclude undeserving Black Americans as much as possible. However, after political wins for Black people, such as the Civil Rights Bill, fair housing laws,
Don't worry, guys,
etc.,
he has the
this
message.
required New Deal government programs to be more accessible to all Americans. And you see white Americans quickly turn against the very policies that induced the golden age of American prosperity in the 1950s and 60s. Even today, the very idea that people should get free health care is somehow controversial and un-American, even as millions of white Americans suffer and go broke due to health care costs. A fun fact to never forget is that white people poured cement into their own swimming pools to ensure that Black people could not swim with them. Conservative political
not a white
positions
guy right
are
there.
positions to maintain systems of
Am I tripping?
dominance and exclusion, even if those most dominated and excluded are white people, all cloaked in the rhetoric of personal responsibility. Charlie Kirk himself railed against the idea that the government might offer free lunches to school children, claiming that the problem with school children was obesity and not food insecurity.
Do you think that there should be free school lunch for all children?
No.
Why?
Of course not. Because parents should feed their kids, not the government.
What if they can't?
Go get a job. Show me a single child in America going hungry. Doesn't exist. Number two, we have churches, we have food shelters, we have billions, and it does not exist. We have a child obesity problem, not a child starvation problem in this country.
refusing to
I
recognize
know
that
people
those
who
problems are connected, and that
routinely
there's
had to
tons
go
of
hungry
evidence
when they were
that literally
children.
millions of American children need free lunches, and that it would be incredibly beneficial to those
If Charlie
children
was
and
alive,
the
I would
society
still
as a
say,
whole to
do
get
not
them.
fucking let
In
me
this
get
clip,
within
Kirk
shouting
yells,
distance
"Get
of
a
him because
job,"
he would
and
never hear the end
crowd
of it.
laughs because they still operate on the image of black welfare queens, not realizing that the average recipient of food stamps is
that
a
a black
single
welfare
white woman
queen?
with 2 kids. Mind you, the woman originally used to demonize the concept of welfare and called the welfare queen was a white woman.
Her name was Linda Taylor, and she was identified by the Chicago Tribune in 1974 as a person who had committed welfare fraud while driving fancy cars, including a Cadillac.
See, I was like
and
looking for
very
race around
quickly
every
after
fucking
that,
corner.
she was
Like
given
Matt
the
Hunter would
nickname,
have.
the welfare
This is
queen.
his soulmate, I
It
think.
is accurate to say that a higher percentage
his
of black
soulmate, I
children
think.
suffer from food insecurity in this country. Something like 20 to 30% of black children, or around 2.3 million kids. And white children suffer
Imagine
from food
getting stuck
insecurity at
here
a much
in
lower rate,
argumentation.
somewhere
It's like,
around 7%.
so fucking
But we live in a
lame.
predominantly white country, so that 7%
You know we live in-
adds up to close to
we're a
4
fucking-
million white children whose parents.
We're a fucking rock floating in outer space, and that's what you get locked onto? That is incredible to me. Holy fuck, what a small mind if you get stuck there. Now, to be fair, there's more video left for this guy to say other things, right? I'll be fair to him. But if he is trending, if he goes where he seems to be trending towards, like, yo, you're fucking lame, my man. You're fucking lame. Sorry. There's a whole fucking universe out there, and you're stuck on dark skin, light skin, and because the light skinned guys did this, that means I have to do this in response. Can you imagine getting stuck there? You're fucking lame for that. Holy Christ. It's like,
When you say light skin, do you mean white people or do you mean light skin black?
actually, funny enough, I meant white people, but like, funny enough, maybe light skinned blacks too. They might fall into a category for some of these people because they're out of their
They
fucking
do.
minds. They're out of their fucking minds.
Oh, bro. They look at it as in somewhere down your family line. Your family crossed the line.
Now listen, I have some light skinned people in my family, but it is mainly Native American as why they're light skinned. Either way, what do they call them? Red
Well,
bone.
some people, some people hold that like that's exile in the black community, right? Isn't that a thing?
No, well, not in my life. No, we'll make jokes.
I
It's
hear
funny.
it. I hear it. No, I hear it occasionally from black people saying, "Yeah, I'm light skinned." They
That might be
I'm
some
kinda-
internet motherfuckers.
I'm kind
bro.
of looked
The
down
real dude.
upon.
The real dude, that might be some internet shit. Real like people real people I've been around. Like, nah, that's not a thing. That's stupid. In fact,
Well,
it's more so culturally. But
I have to take them at their word on it, right? Because it's their
if you're an idiot,
their
yeah,
own
yeah,
like
go ahead, do that.
testimony.
But,
Well, it's their testimony. They're telling the world that.
Oh, fair enough. Shout out to the Flaming Lips, by the way.
I don't have a personal account of it.
I might use that song as a thing. Do you realize? Like we're floating in space. We're a fucking
We're
rock.
floating in space.
And I'm back, y'all. And I'm back, y'all.
We're like imagine.
Happiness makes you cry.
Exactly, Joe.
Everyone, you know, someday.
You know
With
Irish bar song.
Shout out to the Flaming Lips. We're floating in space, man. How the fuck?
We're floating.
I know you know
in
an Irish song
space.
that they play at the end of the movies when everybody's drunk. I know you know one of those songs.
What?
Oh, if you want that, Anthony, go play Rocky Road to Dublin.
Okay, there.
It's called Gangs of New York, Anthony. Okay, go watch the credit scenes. Anyways, it's like the world is not the world. It's so much bigger, and we're stuck on stupid shit like this, bro. I get it.
Well, he's kind of like he's speaking like he's vindictive. He's like,
yeah,
yo, look what y'all did to me.
which is why, yeah.
And at the same
Matt
time,
Hunter.
counting like, yo, they're killing themselves the most. The whites are killing themselves the most with the policies that they support. But like, it's like we should feel bad that they did it to the blacks and not feel bad about what they're doing to themselves as well. It's like, yo, that's also sad.
Well,
Like,
that's
there's
a
no
different category, right? Of I know and you don't know, so I'm going to take advantage of you. That's why it's okay for you to die, but not me. If I die, it's a big deal. The world changes. If you die, you're just another fucking nightly news story. Fun, ironically enough, right? If you look at the inner cities in the quote unquote black community, when one of these kids die or commit a crime, it's
no one knows.
normal, right? It's normal. When random white person in whatever community, inner city or not, and they die, like, oh, okay, nightly news.
Now,
But if one of these fucks get killed, if Charlie Kirk or Trump or one of these fucking idiots get killed, if Obama got killed, if LeBron James got killed, guess what? It is major super duper news, and you guys are irrelevant compared to that. And no one took that. I said that when during the Venezuelan stuff, bro. When they were blowing up boats, I'm like, yo, how is this not relevant? Just like the same as Charlie Kirk. You're like, no, people have like a parasocial connection to Charlie Kirk. I'm like, well, why is that? Why? This guy's not where the fuck you're from. He's not paying the bills you have to pay. Come on, son. He's not like you. Essentially, socially.
Feed into it. You air the fucking investigation of Charlie Kirk every day for 3 months.
I do. I did.
You sure about that? Every day, bro?
What, did Candace miss a day? She took a week off.
I didn't know I was following Charlie Kirk every day. I didn't realize that.
No, the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Oh yeah, if someone's like, I'll use the fucking talk about people, but not necessarily. Not really getting answers about Charlie Kirk's assassination in regards to that or his murder. But I'll use to like look at like, okay, here's your logic in regards to things, but not every day. Obviously, I wouldn't do that every day. That'd be crazy.
Right. Candace took a week off for Thanksgiving.
Oh, it's about Candace now? Are you digging a hole for yourself right now?
The person who covers Charlie Kirk every day, who you cover.
Oh yeah, nah, it was a
every so often, yeah.
Okay. Bro, you're an idiot, Dubs. You could just said Candace 5 minutes ago.
Why do you waste everyone's time, Dubster?
He is desperate to get one up on me because I question his morality. I question that he can't do things that I can do. It's like, fuck you.
I can tie my shoes. I know it's hard for you.
I mean, hey,
Fair
fair enough.
Dubster. I'll give you a few minutes, and maybe in like 5 minutes you can take another swing at that. Sound good?
Either way, we are.
Do what I want, when I want, how I want. Fuck off, Joe.
We are covering Charlie Kirk in this video, but the point is the backdrop. What are people saying? Like their logics, the way they're covering things. To me, that's very important, and I would do that every fucking day if I have to. I would, to showcase the logic of people and their seemingly their motives and all that stuff. And I'll be like, hey, Dubster, man, maybe you're right. Maybe I cover Charlie Kirk every fucking day in every fucking video.
His assassination. No, I mean, what you said was, what you were saying was, if it's an average person, black or white, it's considered, the hood, or, too bad for the white guy.
It's same nightly news stuff. Is what was my point. Yeah.
But when it is a huge famous person of some caliber, yeah,
people draw attention to it. Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it for a while, and yes, we're feeding into it. That's all I was really saying.
I don't think I'm feeding into it. I don't think I'm doing that.
We are. We can't not though. We're curious to know because it looks fucking fishy as fuck. But at the same time, yeah, we're feeding into it. That's honest analysis.
I'm not sure if feeding into is the right word.
Dude, like,
what do you mean by
their speculation leads to us speculating to where we wonder and examine the thought of what could have really happened here. So it draws us into the idea of furtherance of this, and the idea that if maybe one of our ideas might get hurt by Candace and she might fucking go along that fucking road and then turn around and then we kind of self looped.
I think you have a point. I think you have a point there, but I don't know. From my perspective, I don't think I view it that way. I think you have a point with what you're saying.
Whether or not somebody's sensationalizing it.
Well, it's more of like, look how if we want answers, you should ask these questions. So thus, I see like something, and I'm like, yo, should be asking this or whatever the fuck, or like this guy, where it's like, okay, he's gonna use this for his own political team, if you will. I think that's worth pointing out to me personally, but that's less so about the Charlie Kirk assassination, more so about how people are covering it. That makes sense?
Sure.
But also, like, at the same time, like, I pointed out, but like, hey, man, I'm going to do this video. It'll get 300 views versus like 50 views if I cover like strictly, here's, Confessions of an Economic Hitman, right? It's just different. It is what it is, right? And like, you try to tie them together, nothing really happens from that. It's more about Charlie Kirk, which is the audience, which is what I typically try to go after, which is the audience.
One of the reasons I view like your coverage of it differently than I would view somebody like, say, Piers Morgan, is because Piers Morgan has a history of like sensationalizing things.
Well, I want to go right to the answer.
Fox News would cover it.
I want to go right to the fucking answer. Period. I want to go right.
Yeah,
to the
you're trying to honestly interrogate what's going on here, whereas Piers Morgan or fucking Jesse Waters or whoever, they're just kind of jackassing around. Or they've already decided that what the conclusion is that they want to reach.
In my opinion, yeah, seemingly. But like, I don't look at it as, oh, here we go, another Charlie Kirk thing. I can't admit to that one. But I can admit, like, that you have a point there, I think. Like, because of like the curiosity of the situation, right? That it just draws your attention, kind of. But it doesn't draw my attention in the way that I think the normal audience member does, which is what I try to point out. Which is like, hey, how come you guys care about this but not this? Right? I think that's maybe where I'm coming from. But there's a point there. Fair enough.
Not just about what you're doing; it's why are you doing it.
Yeah.
And you're part of that. And you're part of that process as well, Dubster. We all are.
I agree.
Well, it's like imagine just like,
dude, we can't even escape this. Like, sometimes I'm like, I know it's about 6 o'clock and you guys are about to go on, and first thing I see is fucking, like, I don't have to log in to see the video Jordan's playing. I see something about fucking Charlie Kirk, and I'm just like,
oh, dude.
Fucking see what I see what he's doing in 2 hours. I don't want to fucking talk about Charlie Kirk. Or
I'll be honest with that. I'll be honest. I usually hit play on something and I'm not even here. I don't hear it. I don't see
you know
it.
what I'm
I just hit
saying,
play
like,
on it and let it fly because I thought people were curious.
It's like, no, it's like, no, I'll chime in later, see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, I know it's something that just happened on the topic of Charlie Kirk, and that's fair, and is covering the current new thing about what's going on with that. But at the same time, it's like, oh my god, we're still fucking talking about goddamn Charlie Kirk.
I feel that. That's why that Candace video. It's like I was like, damn, this is not coming out because I don't see anything of real value here other than Candace versus Piers Morgan, right? It's like there's nothing really there to it. And same with like the plenty of Candace videos where I just hit play on it, let it play over here, right? And I'm just like, I hear about Egyptian planes. I'm like, all right, dude. Nope. I'm not doing that one. But it is still an interesting topic, right?
And then I gotta watch how it's not even you. It's on the fucking I forgot what I call it, the Liberty Daily. Nick Fuentes, Rex Candace Owens on what she said about Charlie Kirk. God damn it, dude.
It's
like you guys. I've followed the Liberty Daily for almost since Drudge Report left. So 6-7 years now, 8 years. I don't even remember. But
Report hurt you, Dubster.
They've never covered Nick Fuentes until it was to discredit Candace Owens.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like they won't touch Nick Fuentes in the sense of what he actually says until it's to discredit Tucker or Candace.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know Drudge Report too well. I've heard them from Alex.
Liberty Daily. Drudge Report is what Liberty Daily basically copied their method.
Either way, not an avid follower of all that, but I can't say I know their methods or what they do, but I can see the idea of what you're saying. I can see the idea of what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a news aggregate. Collects a bunch of stories that they think are interesting and puts them all on theirs as links.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah. Let's continue. But yeah, that was a fair point. I think it was actually a fair point. Little fuckhead. All right, here we go.
Why can't you be this insightful all the time?
Hey, kudos to you for fucking keep going through this shit all day, every fucking day.
No. See, now I'm saying no to that one. Like, I swear to, I'm like, hey, who knows if this video comes out? I'm just gonna watch it. Okay, it's trash. It's not coming out. And there's plenty of videos where they're just sitting in, like, either I deleted them already or they're sitting in my file somewhere that never released. Just left them there, you know? So I'll be fair to myself on that one. It is actually based on, like, is there something of substance here where someone says, like, has a point or questions of logic? I really wanted to hear Candace be, like, really questioned tonight. That was my main point of watching that video. Like, I want to hear her, like, actually questioned. And Piers failed on that front, in my opinion. So thus, like, that's going nowhere for me personally. But the Nick Fuentes one, I thought he had some, like, questions and highlights to play to be like, okay, Nick, here's your IQ test. What do you say about this? Well, you know, I was joking. We joke on my channel, you know? Like, well, what about this? Well, shut up, Piers. Shut up. Right? Like, I want those scenarios
from Liverpool.
I want to see those scenarios played out. I really do. I'm quite curious about them. But, yeah. All right. Either way, let's keep going. Fair enough. Let's keep going. Here we go.
Parents need to get a job so the rest of us don't have to pay a few extra dollars on our taxes to help their children not starve and not grow up being statistically more likely to end up dead or in jail. Ironically, paying for school lunches up front means paying less for jails, healthcare, and welfare later in their lives. But because of people like Charlie Kirk, many conservatives would rather those 4 million children starve if it means those who are undeserving suffer. Even now, as the government is preparing to shut down, conservatives are mocking people who won't be able to feed themselves. But here's the real power of this the culture war. Some of these same people doing the mocking were themselves once on SNAP benefits. Some of these same poor white moms of those 4 million kids are still likely going to vote Republican in 2028. And I want to correct the common sentiment from progressives that says it's because they're dumb. They're not dumb. Delusional maybe, but they just fully believe in the worldview they've been sold. And this begs the question, why and how? These decisions actively make America worse for everyone, not just black people or gay people or immigrants, everyone. And most of the people who suffer are white. And many of those suffering also support their own suffering. Why and how? To answer that is super complex,
I
and I
think
don't
that's
know
kinda
all
true.
of it. But I know a big factor that
little
brings
bit
us
true.
back to Charlie Kirk is his role in the culture wars and his job of recruitment and reinforcing of the moral standards of the right by using those culture wars to galvanize and build consensus with their base. And this is most prominent through the media. Today, that is YouTube and podcasts, but for a while, it was TV and radio. And that's where the foundation lies, in media manipulation. And to understand that, you have to start with good old Satan himself, Ronald Wilson Reagan, 666. This man is undefeated in how often something bad comes back to him. In this
The letters
situation,
in the
it's the
sand.
1987 ending of a policy called the Fairness Doctrine. You may have heard right-wing pundits at times try to make this seem like this doctrine
Hey
would
there,
silence them and make it so
Candace.
they wouldn't be able to have the right to be on air. But that's not really accurate. The end result probably would change the way that all politics are discussed in media.
Step
but what
right
the
up,
Fairness Doctrine
Jordan.
really
Step
was
right up.
making media companies more responsible for the type of
Look at the
topics they
biggest
covered
drug
on
dealer
air.
of all time.
Essentially, you couldn't have something like Fox News before the 1980s. And the same could be said for MSNBC. Because the Fairness Doctrine basically said that if you have opinions of a political or controversial nature, you have to have both sides of that opinion. And they have to be presented in an earnest and direct manner, unless you could legit get fined by the FCC. Thus, it was hard to use media to exclusively promote any political agenda. There was political discourse in media before then, but it was much more measured and straightforward, more educational, and far less entertaining. Hence, the many TV broadcasts.
Pause. This dude is advocating for the news to promote political agendas.
I was gonna let him like play out his whole thought first, or a whole words at least, to figure out where he's going with that. But
I'm pretty sure that's what he said he didn't like about the Fairness Act.
well, let's be real. Even if like a quote unquote Fairness Act, there's gonna be like something underneath the surface that's gonna fly through.
Well, no,
and I'm curious if he's questioning
limits
that versus
radicals. It limits radicals on the TV. But he's saying the opposite. He wanted political agendas to be coming out of TV.
No, but in what way? As in like being like free to say what you want because maybe you're a good talker and you made it on TV, so thus you can say what you want, versus actually regulated speech. That's where I'm like, okay, let me hear out what he says, because honestly, I got like my fandom of movies have seen quite a bit of run-ins with the FCC and TV, by the way, like in regards to like what can or cannot be said, like in these mediums. So thus, like, okay, where's he going with this? Which is where I was gonna listen to him. Let's hear it out. Here we go.
Fucking Hays Code, that shit. That
well,
was fun.
You know, to the MPAA and shit like the Motion Picture Association of America, to TV itself, right, and radio as well. Although I'm less understanding of radio personally when it comes to like the FCC. I know more about like TV and then definitely motion picture ratings for movies.
Wait,
Most of the-
FCC's
Most
radio?
of the same rules apply.
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe it is. Yeah. But all right, here we go.
You have to have both sides of that opinion. And they have to be presented in an earnest and direct manner, unless you could legit get fined by the FCC. Thus, it was hard to use media to exclusively promote any political agenda.
I got.
Like, number one, there was still a lot of shit that you couldn't even give an opinion on TV back then. Like, if, say, you were a communist.
Right.
There were people who got murdered for being communists in this country once upon a time.
We'll bring it back.
I'm sure there was murder for a bunch
Upstairs,
of stuff.
take a lap.
We'll bring it back. Don't worry. We got it.
It's lagging. I have to leave and come back real fast. Here we go.
MU internet service.
God damn it.
Also,
good.
Take a tip, take a lesson. You'll never win by messing with the fellas at the freaking FCC.
Shout
Also-
out to Revival Era Family Guy.
Also, shout the crab people. All right, here we go.
with that opinion.
What-
And that had to be presented.
what was it? It was Alfred Hitchcock.
Legit get fined by the FC.
Every time I pause, you're gonna lag my shit. Go ahead, real fast. Go ahead.
So, Alfred Hitchcock, whenever he made Psycho, remember they made the movie about Alfred Hitchcock making the movie Psycho?
You mean the TV show we watched, or
No, there was a movie of Alfred Hitchcock making the movie Psycho.
what was that?
But anyway,
Whatever.
he refers to like when the scene in the shower where she's getting stabbed, how the reason why it was not really shown, it was just implied, is because there just straight up was something called the censor for TV and movies
Yeah, that was obvious.
in the
I think.
government. Yeah. But he straight up calls it the censor in the movie.
But that world back then, they were just like, like, hey man, you can't do that. And don't worry, if we block you and shut your shit down, no one will ever see this movie ever. So you might as well just like follow what we're saying, basically.
So you don't see her getting stabbed. You don't see her naked in the shower.
No.
It's all implied.
You see the blood
hear
going down
her
the drain. Yeah.
Yeah, and you hear the scream, but you don't
That chick
see
had it
any
coming
of
though. She was a thief. Everybody forgets that.
How dare you? Shut up, Harrison. The fuck up. Anyways. No.
Back to the doc.
Pretty sure the implied stuff was pretty okay. Like the audience got it, but all right, here we go.
FCC. Thus, it was hard to use media to exclusively promote any political agenda. There was political discourse in media before then, but it was much more measured and straightforward, more educational, and far less entertaining. Hence the many TV broadcast interviews of political figures, even radical ones like a Malcolm X. With the fairness doctrine gone, our politics became another framework for just being entertainment, just as subject to
Like
media
Gutterball?
manipulation and
What's his name?
sensationalism.
I would have liked
in
to
the
have
name of
met
ratings and
Malcolm X.
marketing
That would have been a
versus
fun
education and
conversation.
seeking the truth. Today, our political media looks more like something from Monday Night Football or professional wrestling.
fishing
And
for
entire
black chicks.
networks
Wait,
of
don't
channels
lie.
can push explicit.
Wait, so is he
political
giving
agendas.
credit
And
to
now there are
Reagan?
large groups of Americans who only get their news from overtly biased sources. And no, this video is not sponsored by Ground News, but it is sponsored by Nebula. We can talk about that real quick. If you're enjoying this
Oh
video
my
analyzing
god,
white
this
culture,
shameless.
conservatism,
This shameless. Skip. Skip.
Fuck Nebula.
Shameless.
reality shows featuring a bevy of
Skip.
we don't have
Skip.
do that.
Shameless. QR codes. Ew. Gross.
Okay.
Point is that having a balanced intake on what political opinions you bring
Gross.
in pretty much started to die at that point. And then it got even worse because of one more thing. Reagan isn't the only villain here. You all know I'm bipartisan in my hatred of America's political apparatus. The next major factor is the Telecommunications Act signed by Bill Clinton in 1996.
Today, with the stroke of a pen, our laws will catch up with our future.
He was as Republican as it gets on paper. On paper, I'm saying.
And innovation
Yep.
can move as quick as light.
Bill Clinton was basically a continuation of Reagan.
But he had a team next to his name, so thus people didn't realize he was just like the same thing. Didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Among many other things, what this mainly did was allow
Practically
for
told you to your
unchecked
face that he was kind of
ownership
he was a
media
fucking
companies,
sellout,
resulting
and
in
people
massive
still didn't
mergers
notice.
until only a few companies own all of what
God.
is seen or heard on our screens
to buy
and
into sellout.
airwaves. So now you have
he
companies
didn't
like the
sell out.
far-right leading Sinclair
bullshit from
Media
the
owning
beginning.
most local TV stations in the country and purposely seeding right-wing perspectives into their coverage and being blatantly
Oh no, I mean he sold everybody else
media
out.
narratives as seen in this
Not himself.
horrifying but real clip of their many news stations reading the same script.
The sharing of biased and
this
false
10,000
news
times.
has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish things that simply aren't true without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own
Thanks a lot, Sinclair.
agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
So with these two things is in place, we now have the environment set for people like a Charlie Kirk to wield immense power in pushing cultural narratives and swaying public and political influence. They just didn't quite know it yet. And Kirk comes in the late 2010s, but he's following in a tradition of right-wing talking heads, normalizing certain far-right talking points. And here's where we meet the most important character in the history of the culture wars, and possibly one of the most influential political figures to never hold an office, Rush Limbaugh.
Folks, there's actually a debate going on ESPN and throughout the sports world over who can use the N-word, when, and how. The white race has probably had fewer slaves and for a briefer period of time than any other in the history of the world.
What are the similarities between the Democrat Party of today and the Nazi Party?
Rush Limbaugh is greatly responsible for today's political reality. There is no Trump, no Fox News, probably no Manosphere, and definitely not a modern culture war without him. He is patient zero for the awful timeline we're in right now. Ironically, Limbaugh was the failed son of a prominent political family whose only talent was yapping at a time where that talent only had one medium to be successful, which was radio. And Limbaugh loved radio and worked in it on and off growing up until he got to college. And then he dropped out of college to focus on being a DJ full time in his early 20s and was not very successful until he found his calling as a right-wing provocateur. And this wasn't a new thing for American radio at the time, but to give the devil his due, Limbaugh was extremely talented as an orator.
Barney admitting that he had an affair with Stephen Goby, and he said, quote, I was just trying to help this guy through some problems.
If you fell for Rush Limbaugh, you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry to tell you.
Lollipop.
Sorry to tell you.
Boy lollipop. Perfect. It was absolutely
If you
perfect.
fell for Rush Limbaugh, I can't help you.
That is making fun of the homosexual lifestyle.
Because of the Fairness Doctrine and the Telecommunications Act, the value of his voice skyrocketed and spread throughout the nation. In his book, Talk Radio's America, How an Industry Took Over a Political Party That Took Over the United States, Brian Rosenwald explains how, with the Fairness Doctrine gone, radio stations learned to streamline their content for market optimization, making all-day conservative talk shows a strong branding strategy, partially due to the fact that newer FM radio was clearer and better for music, but couldn't reach as far as AM radio, and listeners were fine listening to lower quality signals for talk radio, meaning that it was rural Americans well outside of city centers that was their key market demographic, playing into certain conservative and regressive ideologies around people and social issues, etc., was great for galvanizing that community. And this coincided with the aforementioned rise in media consolidation, as well as the vision of people like Newt Gingrich, who recognized where politics would fail, culture wars could prevail. And so what we have is our first ever basically algorithmic bubble, where a whole community of people are cocooned in a specific view of the world without ever being exposed to opposite opinions.
He's saying we're in the bubble? All right.
And having everything about that reality turned up to 10 to the point where we are today. We're at a point now where Charlie Kirk is saying things that Limbaugh would have been taken off of air in the 90s.
Taylor Swift might.
Sorry, that's the fucking problem. If you say we, first of all, already crazy. But
no,
yes.
he's saying Republican, so it is the we of anybody that considers himself Republican.
Don't be stupid, bro.
Includes you, but not me.
Don't be fucking dumb. Come on, man. Come on. Like it's. Yes, he's being a.
That's what he said.
Political team player right now. He's doing that. He's being political team player shit. He is. But at the same time, like, let's not be stupid. There are people that, like, because they didn't have quote unquote access to other opinions or cultures or ideas of things, guess what? They became bubbles and thus missed out on other shit. I'm sorry, bro. I see that. It is what it is. It's unfortunate. But that's what I say. And it's like, damn, if you guys would have, like, picked up a fucking comic book or some shit like that, bro, maybe it'd be different. Who knows? But, once again, my main problem is actually conditioning in the first place. Not breaking through that. Not breaking that down and then deciding who the fuck you want to be as a person. That is your main problem for all walks of life.
I think it's hilarious. You think the freest people in the country, as in people in small towns out in the country.
What do they do that's so free?
Are the ones that are in a bubble.
What do they?
versus the people that
What do they
choose
do that's
to
so
be
fucking free? What do they do
They're
that's
in
so
the
fucking
country,
free?
bro.
Oh, they're in
They're
the country.
country.
Oh, so wait. So if I take the same, like another kid from another place, bring them into the country, they're free now. It's all up to the fucking trees or something like that. Is that what you're saying?
That is not what I'm saying.
The trees decide if you're if you're free or not.
Well, hold on now, Jordan. Maybe
That
it
isn't
has
what I
to,
was
maybe
saying
it
at
has to
all.
do with the
What are you
number of
saying,
cows per capita or horses. I don't fucking know.
Like, come on. Let's not be fucking stupid about this. Come on.
That's not what I was saying.
What are you saying then? Go ahead.
This dude's saying that the freest people in the country are the ones that are in the bubble
Why are they free?
because they're in the country.
Because
And what about the
they're
country
in
makes
the
them free?
country. It's like, yeah, exactly. Please answer that one. Go ahead.
Living off the land is the ultimate freedom.
That's bullshit. And you know that. Come on. That's
No,
bullshit.
it isn't.
That's bullshit. That is bullshit.
No, it isn't.
Listen, if they get stuck on fucking Rush Limbaugh, are they free?
They are the
Are they
furthest
free?
thing
No, hold on, Joe. Are they free if they get stuck on
Rush
Rush
Limbaugh's
fucking
awesome.
Limbaugh? Yeah, now you're trolling now. Like, see,
Rush Limbaugh won
see
the
what I fucking?
Presidential Freedom Award.
You see what the fuck I mean?
Yeah, dude.
It's
You
like,
didn't.
ask you a real
Meaningless.
question
Just
and start
YellBro.
trolling. God,
Rush Limbaugh
it's
is fucking
annoying,
awesome,
bro.
dude.
So childlike, bro.
Dude, he's a fucking Rush Limbaugh is fucking awesome.
So you like Rush Limbaugh's foreign policy? God, answer that one.
I don't know his foreign policy.
Oh, come on, son.
There's no way you don't
Come on.
know.
It's probably the current foreign policy right now. So you like that, right?
I don't know Rush Limbaugh's foreign policy.
It's probably the one we're looking at right now. If it was, do you like it or no?
You know what?
I
Better
don't
example.
know
Look at
Rush
George W.
Limbaugh's
Look at George
foreign
W.
policy.
If it was, do you like it or not? Pause.
I'll wait for you to ask me a real question.
It's kayfabe, bro.
Yeah.
He can't say he can't break it, bro. It's
Yeah,
kayfabe.
fair enough. Okay, let's move on.
All right.
Let's move on. Here we go.
You're watching
Things
too
that
much
Limbaugh
WWE,
would have been
Dubster.
taken
Dealing
off
with
of Air
fucking
Force.
single cell brain
Taylor
organisms.
Swift might
Single cells.
de-radicalize herself, engage in reality
Simple-ass
more, and get
motherfuckers, bro.
outside of the abstract clouds.
Fuck.
Reject feminism. Submit to your husband, Taylor.
Again, the point is always to push the envelope on what can be deemed normal and civil, and that's what these people have been and are continuing to do. Republican
got a Medal of
politicians
Freedom
court
for it, bro.
Limbaugh's favor. He makes
Dummies.
visits to the White House. He advises presidents.
What a meaningless
He-
award.
35
Yeah,
years
there it is.
of
At
promoting
the same time,
fucking
both Barack
fundamentalist
Obama and Bill
Republican
Clinton served
beliefs.
8-year terms. So he isn't
That you agree
all
with,
powerful in
apparently.
terms of actual sentiment for most Americans.
That everyone
which is
with a
something that's
sane
important to
mind
remember,
does.
but I'll come back
That
to
you would
later.
agree with.
But the
Yeah.
nature of our politics is
Yeah, fucking
fundamentally
common
altered
sense.
in
That's
terms
why
of
they call it
polarization
common.
and what
Yeah, here you
counts as
giggle.
There ain't no
political
common
platform.
anymore.
Instead
hear
of
the
actually
giggle in the
talking
back of
about
your
policies
voice
on
when
helping
you
American
talk.
people with jobs and health care,
Sad
because I'm laughing
motherfucker,
at
bro.
you.
even
So fucking
safety.
sad.
I
it
am
just
laughing at
becomes
you.
Our
Yeah,
trans
you
people
got me,
playing
man.
sports.
You need to leave the
with their
plantation.
children.
I'm getting
Dubster.
played.
Our gay
Sure.
people kissing each other, our black people existing. The most effective commercial, and this has been proven in
Leave
the previous
the
American
plantation.
election, was this commercial about Kamala
I've
Harris
never been
talking
on the
about trans
plantation.
people, using the
Nah, he's a
slogan,
fucking slave.
Kamala
We
is
know
for
that.
they, them, Trump is
Joe,
for you.
he's a fucking
Every
slave. We know
transgender
that.
inmate would have access.
I'm not a Democrat.
They, them. President Trump is for
He's a
you.
fucking slave,
Donald
and we
J.
fucking
Trump
know it.
approved this message.
Not a Democrat.
That is a proven thing that worked more than
Moving on.
anything else that the Republicans put out there.
Childish.
That should tell you something about the power of the culture.
Enough sophistry.
Mind you, there was also liberal and progressive media and content doing the same thing. Jon Stewart rises during this same time, as does NPR. Liberals even tried to mimic talk radio with the failed Air America, but it was not
remember
good enough
that,
to
Air
shift
America.
the Overton window with this significant amount of Americans who, if we're
But Obama's,
honest,
like, kinda
liberals
cool,
weren't
though,
paying
right?
attention to. The
Yeah,
country as a
boring-ass,
whole didn't
trash-ass.
seem to realize what was happening
Terrible.
in the middle of
hold your damn
America this
pants.
entire time. A lot of especially modern liberals don't recognize is
Jordan,
that Obama.
you were going to pull up your
Clinton
pants right
moved
this
the
instant.
Democrats
I'm Barack
to the
Obama.
right. Yes, they did. Stop arguing me about this bullshit.
Me and my waist are
at it, but
Do the
Justin's
fucking
way
Googles.
better with the
And
Barack
Clinton
Obama
specifically
voice.
pushed the Democrats right in a way that gave Republicans
Me and my
two
waistline
options.
are
Either move
private
left, which
property,
was
okay?
out of the question,
So
or move further right, which is what
I
they did.
decide
with the help
when
of
my
Limbaugh.
pants are up.
They
or not.
vilified everything
Okay.
the Democrats did.
I think it's become
Pause.
stupid, though.
Major
I've seen
pause.
so many
What the
fucking
Republicans
black
wanted to
men's
do,
underwear.
such as
It's
the
crazy.
94 crime
Guys need
bill
to really pull
or
up
the
their
welfare
pants. It's
reform
dumb.
bill, both under Bill
Harrison,
Clinton, or
pull up your damn
Obamacare,
pants.
which got its origins from Mitt Romney's health care.
guys need to pull
What
up your
Limbaugh
damn
and the
pants.
Culture Wars did was make it that even working with Democrats to make the government functional and help a small amount of people was seen as a heinous
a sad
betrayal
man.
to
He
the
never met God.
conservative
It's
reality
crazy.
and ideology.
Until he died,
helped create
obviously.
the image of Democrats as
A sad
godless
person.
communists who hate America. And that impact reverberates through conservative spaces and leadership to this day. In that process, Hillary Clinton became a supervillain even before she ever held any type of office. So when she ran in 2016,
There he goes.
unbeknownst to many
Protecting his
No,
leader.
no. Hillary
He's
was a
protecting
fucking.
his leader.
Okay, that's good for him. But guess
Saw
what?
an OG black guy today. He was dressed sharp and he had a Glock strapped to his side at Walmart. I
Okay.
was very impressed.
Okay. Either way,
It's 14 brain.
this is this guy's thing. But for us with brains, we're like, yo, Hillary is full of shit and a danger of a person of a political person to be around, like policy at all. She was blatantly that.
Dangerous to
These
be
are the
around,
excuses.
period. People have a funny
not
way of ending
retconning?
up dead.
Jesse, is he not retconning what the fuck Hillary was? I mean, she was the most blatant. Like, I have problems with Trump, big problems with Trump, but her running for office was one of the most blatantly corrupt politicians ever running for office ever. Right? I'm pretty sure about that one. Like, even her campaign was saying dangerous things, right? Like, even when she's supposed to make herself look good, she was still saying, like, dangerous shit during her fucking campaign when she's supposed to make herself look good. She was that dangerous, I think, as a politician. But
Hillary and Donald are so much closer than I think either of them care to admit.
Well,
so much closer.
Yeah, they probably fucked.
oh my god. I understood Trump's first run, right? I understood why fans fell for that. I didn't fall for that, but I understood why they did because of the words he was saying on the campaign trail, right? And especially in comparison to this motherfucker right here on screen. She was blatantly that bad. Blatantly. So I understood. I got it.
A lot of people at the time thought that Trump was basically going to be a wrecking ball and break everything. So
Really?
they were willing to roll the dice.
Or that's part of it. That's part of it. Or people thought he was going to do good.
Confused because Monica Lewinsky was like a chubby, brunette, and Hillary was like smoking hot at that time. What the fuck is going on?
Hillary was a hottie, I won't lie. But either way, her running in 2015, 2016, right? Yes, Joe, in regards to like a wrecking ball for Trump, but they viewed the wrecking ball as being like righteous wrecking ball, as in like he doesn't know what he's doing. He's gonna go in there and he's gonna like knock shit over that is blatantly corrupt, like her, right? I'm pretty sure that was the case, which is why I understood why people did that. I got it.
That was the thinking of the time.
But 2 months in, they should have fucking noticed already, where it's like, oh, we're getting fucked, we're getting played. They should have known. They should have known that right then.
No, that Hillary Clinton is evil today, right? You've learned that lesson, correct?
What's that key step you always mention?
Killed all those Libyans just to like take out a dictator. A dictator that.
Sure, we know about Libya, Harrison. Thank you for educating us. Go ahead.
What's that thing What's that key step you always bring up whenever somebody realizes they've been getting fucked over?
Did you bleep yourself?
That thing you tell them to never. You think that thing you tell them to never, ever, ever do.
Never ever repeat that shit again. Ever ever.
Clinton
Don't
and
let it
Victoria
happen
Nuland.
again. But guess what? It did, didn't it? With Hillary voters.
Ukraine and Russia right now is Hillary Clinton 2.0.
Oh, stop it!
Because
stop
friends, bro.
Stop.
They work at the same university.
Russia.
Kids.
Stop. With Hillary, with Biden in 2020, right? That's Hillary again, by the way. Same policy. And then Trump himself is a repeat of what you already had, which was obviously fucking bad. But for some reason, sorry, Republicans. I'm sorry for the stereotyping or grouping together. But guess what? The repeat of Trump was like, hey guys, how the fuck are you falling for this? After Trump's first term, if you didn't see like this person on screen right there, is the same fucking like policy wise person, you're out of your fucking mind. If you didn't see the same thing, I'm sorry. They're the same fucking thing, essentially, at the core of it. So it's like, what the fuck are we doing at that point? But either way, initially, I understood Trump fans. Initially, I understood. I get that. I get it. Just like Tulsi fans or Bernie fans originally, I get what you mean. I get it. But they didn't earn my trust. But I get why they got their trust. But now it's like there's no. Sorry.
Well, they get in office
now, right,
and
guys?
they change.
Come on! Don't make it a scientific.
It always
it's not
happens.
scientific.
They get in office and they fucking change. They do weird shit.
No.
And that needs to stop.
No, Harrison.
They
no,
stop
Harrison.
pretending.
Broadly speaking, the shit that they do in office is shit that they were already planning to do.
I can't buy it as an equation of if you get power now, all of a sudden just magically morph into something else. I can't buy that.
You get into power, and then all of a sudden you owe a lot of people. You owe a lot of beneficiaries.
No, nope.
That needs to change.
I'm not doing that. Sorry, nope, not doing that.
All it does, most of what getting power does is it just shows who you really are.
It shows you're either blatantly incompetent, or full of shit from the fucking
Trump,
beginning.
I would do what Trump did on The Apprentice and fire everybody.
Come on, it's too late.
Just start from scratch.
Too late past that, right? You can't say what Trump woulda, shoulda, coulda. It's too late right now, right? It's like he's already doing the neocon, devil worshipping policy right now.
And because you guys let that happen.
What?
You liberals let that happen. You've been a great president. You guys failed to support him.
Shut up.
And he takes it personally, and now
I
he
hear
hates
you laughing. Shut the fuck up. I hear you laughing. Shut up.
You gotta keep a straight face when you're doing that, Harrison.
Yeah, please. Let's continue. Hopefully I'm not lagging. I'm gonna leave and come back.
Hopefully we
real
can finish this documentary sometime this year.
Yeah. Yeah, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. All right, here we go. And black.
Okay, guy.
Yeah. Relax, guy. Here we
Hey,
go.
relax, guy. I wouldn't mess with Trump. You know what? I'd be like that chef that Obama killed in his backyard swimming pool.
All right, here we go.
Liberals in the Democratic Party. She was fighting essentially 20 years of negative campaigning to
LBRB.
millions of Americans. The blue wall had cracks in it for decades, and nobody noticed. And let's be clear here. It wasn't hard to make the Clintons look bad in middle America. The Democrats had long since abandoned the working class in favor of neoliberalism. They serve the same corporate overlords that the Republicans do. They participate in the same behavior that exploits and harms American people. They just do it with nicer words and a more diverse cast. Please understand that Democrats had their own culture war strategy of paying lip service to racial minorities, immigrants, and the LGBTQ community, but never doing enough to actually help them outside of grand gestures and empty promises. Even today, whenever we see figures in the Democratic Party that are more progressive and are more trying to get away from corporately owned politics, people like Bernie Sanders, Jamal Bowman, and Zohran Mamdani, the Democrats prefer establishment figures owned by
all three of them have failed, by the way.
They can to undermine those movements, which is why Democrats constantly lose. Meanwhile, NAFTA, started under Reagan but signed by Clinton, expedites the mass erosion of jobs in middle America. And this leads to poverty and dysfunction in those areas that turn into hotbeds for opioids and meth and heroin in white populations. And then here's Rush Limbaugh and his cohorts such as Sean Hannity, Michael Medved, Herman Cain, etc., explaining that their problems, the problems of these white people in these rural towns in middle America and in the South, those problems that they're experiencing think are the result of the Clintons, the Obamas, immigrants, critical race theory, and eventually trans kids playing soccer, the woke mind virus, and postmodern neo-Marxism. And it's worked beautifully
Postmodern neo-Marxism.
for well over a decade now. And so Trump won in 2016.
Don't you fucking laugh at me, Jordan. Go clean your room.
In 2024. But don't mistake this for the country moving more right. It's just the country
Biden, I didn't see YouTube ads for fucking gays, black guys
the right
selling HIV drugs.
It is clearly apparent that the right isn't doing much to create new ways for Americans to thrive and be successful. No one believes in trickle-down economics and probably never have. Republicans haven't been the party of small government since Dwight Eisenhower. But they know
you don't believe in reality
matter as long as they promise to hurt the people that their followers hate. And in that regard, they're doing an amazing job. And this is the road.
Ronald Reagan doesn't love you, Dubster. You have to let him go.
Family, country, all that shit.
Wait, no, trickle-down economics is reality.
To like galvanize the masses, but to collect.
Milton Friedman doesn't love you, Dubster.
He's dead. You have
to let him go.
Radicalize them into devoted
last time you argued for that, and when I explained to you what it meant, then you changed your mind.
What conservatives require
I didn't.
Members. They require people
trickle-down economics is how the world works.
Own well-being. People immune to facts and logic. This will come up later, but understand the modern right isn't this huge.
Nancy Reagan won't return your phone calls, Dubster. You have to let her go.
I don't understand those commercials because if black men can afford fucking HIV drugs, they can afford to pay child support.
I talked about it in my election results video that Trump had hundreds of thousands of votes in swing states where voters didn't even bother to vote for any other candidates or issues on their ballots. These voters weren't politically inclined or informed. They just came to vote for Trump as a part of his cult of personality. That's what the right has understood.
Look in my eyes.
It's what they learned from Limbaugh and why even today, as they get exposed for all kinds of corruptions, openly court Trump to defy the Constitution or get caught having racism, they never apologize.
It's a good one. I like those guys.
Defense, because their most valued followers don't want that and don't need that from them. Never forget Trump saying, "Stand back and stand by," when asked to denounce white supremacists. That wasn't an accident or a misspeak. That is intentional. A small group of highly dedicated, well-organized, and mobilized
this is your rival
team,
by the way.
Is
Harrison,
all they need
Dubster,
under the circumstances.
you guys are
those
being for
folks
real
do
for a
the work.
second.
They do the
this is your counter
evangelism.
person.
They do the recruiting and they come out to vote, which is really
they're
all
taking
they
advantage
need.
of what you guys fucking say out loud.
Look at how little I have to work.
And thus, America has stepped.
No, but you don't realize
you actually have to work. I'm just saying.
He's wrecking himself.
Attacking the wrong people all the time.
That's the poetry of it.
He's wrecking himself.
That is the poetry of it. Is that you guys have to actually.
I've won. I have fucking won.
You can scream you won, but guess what? It's not the case, dude. I'm sorry. This is who your counterpart is.
Exactly like...
Yeah, sure. All right, whatever. Good luck, though. Here we go.
For wins in 2026, you lose.
For now, you might even see a gay kiss on TV every once in a while. For now, and
there
were some DEI workshops and some donations to black schools or whatever after George Floyd was murdered.
In 1 year,
never forget that after a year of protests and riots in the name of George Floyd, all these people shouting defund the police, that the government's response was to raise police budgets nationwide. This country is as right as it's ever been. Policing hasn't changed. The rich continue to get richer as the poor get poorer. Corporations own our data, our ways of communicating with each other, and even our access to art. The country is still hella segregated. Women
the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer.
Buy AR-15, the same place you can buy Pokemon cards. Military police are invading American cities and kidnapping people off the street, and America is still an imperious superpower.
But they're here a monopoly, so they got to go away.
Across the globe.
Aside
from a few victories here and there and some dynamic changes, the right has been winning the political game.
You're not here for a real conversation.
If you don't have paperwork that proves it, you got to go away.
My bad for talking. My bad.
We've been in decades on the opposite end of the spectrum. But let's not be delusional on where the ledger stands. All that said, something else occurred to me when I saw Charlie Kirk get shot in the neck and the ensuing aftermath, and that maybe winning the culture war isn't the goal here, because the winners of the culture war seem more like losers. Part 2, who was Charlie Kirk? I barely knew who Charlie Kirk was before he died.
Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being? This?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt,
yes.
This is a dolphin fetus. This is a human fetus. Look how similar they look. In life, do you confuse dolphins for human babies often?
Regular watchers will know I don't engage in rage bait content much. For all the accusations I get of catering to white liberals, this is my first conservatives are bad video in like 3 years because I don't like attracting those types of viewers. I don't watch and listen to conservative pundits. I don't make content about the ridiculous things they say or do. I legit could barely tell the difference between him and Tucker Carlson because they all fit in the same mold that I just described earlier. However, they're trying to make him into a martyr. They're trying to make him on the same line as Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, to lionize him as a sympathetic figure who only wanted what was best for people in America and had deep, meaningful beliefs about free speech and open dialogue and getting past differences. God, family, country, in that order. And to the untrained ear who doesn't know the reality, who could hate that? But
he got that wrong. It's not God, family, country in that order. It's country, family, God. Sorry, country, family, a bunch of bullshit, then God, down the list somewhere for these guys.
It in my God for this one. He signs his name, capital G. Shut up, Trent Reznor.
Yeah, I don't think these guys actually believe in God. Or of a fashion statement, not really about the whole spiritual idea of what God would mean.
They worship Moloch.
Well, whatever they
I'd
do.
still smash 1992 Hillary Clinton, though. Letting you guys know.
I wouldn't smash. I'd wine and dine her, personally. And then if she gave me permission. Anyways, here we go.
Know that Charlie Kirk started out by targeting people for free speech. By
my advice to you, Jordan, wait a couple of years. When the Monica Lewinsky happens, Hillary gets a little mad.
That was in any way progressive.
That's your best chance.
People who say God, family, country,
yeah, you might end up in
you for not worshiping their God, kill your family, and put you out.
It'd be worth it though.
Of many things I'm going to expose about Kirk, the main thing that should tell you the type of person he is that he's the only conservative pundit that I can think of in my lifetime to legitimately and publicly criticize Martin Luther King in any real way.
When the New York riots happen, it goes for like a week. It goes for about a week. He's telling King, you've got to say something to condemn this. And King says he doesn't want to do it because he says, I don't want to deliver a condemnation without also condemning the causes that lead to riots.
That sounds like BLM. I wanted to make sure that, after that conversation, we talk about the positives. Yeah. And then we also get into some of the other implications of this. We're a truth-seeking show. But I can say declaratively, this guy is not worthy of a national holiday. He is not worthy of godlike status. In fact, I think it's really harmful.
Most conservatives aren't bold enough to engage with MLK critically.
I agree.
Instead, they like to use the sanitized version of King to push their right-wing agenda. But maybe, I guess to his credit, Kirk has purposely brought up King's radicalism as a way to undermine him, likely in preparation for Project 2025 and the purging of civil rights that we see they're clearly trying to attempt. Notice how Kirk talks about the civil rights bill and his issues with it. He doesn't get very specific, does he?
Imagine what happened during 2020 with even more murdering, and just remember how angry we got when CNN called it mostly peaceful.
Exactly.
And this is one of the reasons why MLK's numbers went down towards the end of his life.
He doesn't spell out the problem. He just insinuates that a problem is there, and he expects everyone else watching to know where he wants to go.
It's not like there was a concerted effort from
the Civil Rights Act
from people within the FBI to discredit King.
Discard the U.S. Constitution and reconstitute the story, the mantra, the creed, and the vision of America.
I'm surprised you didn't hear that before I brought it
in
up.
Republican circles as well. They say, the Civil Rights Act corrected a lot of the errors of the Constitution. No, it didn't. The Civil Rights Act was a completely new creation. Of course, it was well intended by some. We have acknowledged that many times. But the Civil Rights Act at its core was a new founding. It was the discard what happened prior. The Constitution says people have equal rights. Imagine just treating people equally. The Civil Rights Act does not treat people equally because the legal theory under the Civil Rights Act is disparate impact. And so therefore you can't arrest a bunch of criminals in DC because you might be disproportionately arresting black men, and that might be deemed as racist.
And this is a very intentional thing that Kirk and folks like him do.
Charlie was.
Just asking questions or having a conversation.
That's a
And
sad
I bring
part
this
he's
up
reading.
because the first thing that people
Where's the
need to get
heart
on
at,
board
man?
with is recognizing that Kirk's whole shtick of
Warm
open
that heart up
dialogue and
first,
debate
please.
is a bait and switch tactic, not meant to actually pursue truth.
You're
going to
be waiting a very long time, Jordan.
But to normalize certain ideas, spread them as much as possible, and then harness the power that comes from that. There was once a time that agreeing that your 10-year-old daughter would have to have a baby by her rapist was considered weird, but here's Charlie Kirk doing it for millions of viewers to see.
So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped and she was going to give birth and she would and she was going to give birth and she was going to live, would you want her to go through that and carry her rapist baby?
That's awfully graphic.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
And then he just continues on as he is, as if that's not the worst thing you've heard today. And it's because Charlie Kirk's fans either don't notice or don't care. But being wrong and weird on a large scale for everyone to see is the point. Kirk and his ilk aren't trying to convert normal people or those who disagree. He's seeking out the select few who are amenable to his extreme beliefs or indifferent to them as long as it serves their overall agenda. This is also why he focused on the least capable opponents for making content. While Kirk is presented as this great intellect or debater,
in life, do you confuse dolphins for human babies often?
most of his debates and his debate wins come from debating 19-year-olds using well-rehearsed talking points and skills of sophistry to make his fundamentally awful opinion seem reasonable and possibly even logical.
This is true. This is what
like
Crowder did
people like Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder before him, he recognized that arguing with college kids was an excellent formula for churning out content for the right-wing media apparatus.
9 out of 13 states had abolished slavery by the Constitution.
Brianna kind of wrecked this whole, by the way.
Territories were free.
And what do you take from that? That America wasn't racist?
Not only that, we were the
Brianna
first
who,
country
Jordan?
to abolish slavery, not just
Brianna Joy Gray.
Oh, okay.
She kind of spanks him. I've seen a decent portion of that discussion. But all right, here we go.
You want to see Charlie get
9 out of
spanked?
13 states had abolished slavery.
I want her to spank
by
me,
the
to be honest with you.
Constitution. Northwest Ordinance.
Brianna can body slam
were
me.
free.
Amen.
And what do you take from that? That America wasn't racist?
Not only that, we were the first country to abolish
Tell you
slavery.
what, Jordan, I'll teach her how to do a power
You
slam.
have to understand, you're not an unintelligent person. You know that that's a
Shout out to the British
The
Bulldog.
right has for decades targeted college campuses as college kids make for easy targets
How
of
do I
derision.
clip that?
Colleges
Why
are
not
where
just show
young
what the
people
fuck
go
happened?
through many transitions and develop unrefined belief systems that they
would you clip that
paradoxically
one?
feel
Whatever.
incredibly strong about.
And how long is
Making
this
easy
video supposed to
targets
be?
for gotcha
Almost 2
moments are
hours?
Very satisfying to see
Where-
put in their place.
I
Thus,
guess
they are
40
great
minutes
for
left.
farming content to the
And around
anti-intellectual
50
crowd.
minutes- hour
That's
left.
often what happened in these viral
This video
moments
is
when
close to
right-wing
2 hours.
spaces. Remember, Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro,
I think it's worth
these are
sparing the
adults
extra
with
couple
entire
minutes.
teams behind them who do this for a living, challenging some 19-year-old who probably stayed up till 2 a.m. the night before playing Call of Duty that took maybe 1 or 2 sociology classes and wants to step up to the table. It's not a fair fight. It's the equivalent to watching Razor
not
Ramon fight
age-based.
local jobber number 595, except the crowd doesn't understand the
Brooklyn
match is
Brawler.
predetermined.
Say hello to the bad guy.
However, when people like Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro face
don't do
people
that,
who are
FD.
actually well-versed in the
Don't do that to
topics
Razor
or
Ramon.
relatively well-trained in rhetoric, they will usually get demolished.
This is a dolphin fetus.
Well,
See
this
Kirk
guy,
debating college students at Cambridge or against Brianna Joy
this guy had
Gray.
a
Systemic
horrendous assessment.
I could sit here and ask you, Charlie,
Alright,
do you know how
sorry.
many people came over in the transatlantic slave trade?
I could approximate about 1.8 million.
No, it's like 20 million.
Hold on,
Are you
20
kidding
million
me?
came as slaves?
20 million.
I'm making a simple observation, which is objectively true regardless. The women of the West are miserable, and we should tell them to stop freezing their eggs and start finding their partner earlier and have lots of babies.
If you actually care about women's happiness, then the solution is to structurally support them. That means universal childcare, shared legally enforceable parental leave, and in Nordic countries where women have high workforce participation and
Politics,
also some
politics,
states support, they
politics,
report higher
boring.
life satisfaction than in more conservative countries, including America. So
Congratulations, Dobster. Wait, he's not here. Whatever. Congratulations, Dobster. This is you create, in a way, you are propping up this thing from this thing happening. Factoid-based things, nothing from the fucking heart. Factoids like, oh my god, did you hear about the child care and no empathy, just factoid reading. Congratulations. This is where you're stuck at. These guys invited that. Enjoy it. She can't do that shit with me. I'm sorry. And Charlie's, he's pathetic. He's horrendous at argumentation. He is. He's dealing with college kids. College kids are reading on their fucking phones. they're from the heart, right? Reading off their fucking phones. That's what Charlie has to deal with, apparently. We're going nowhere with these pseudo-intellectual fucking dimwits. I'm sorry. That's where we're at. And no offense to her, they probably picked her from her looks, too. Let's be honest. Either way, let's continue. I'm trying to dumb it down for myself personally, but this is where we're at.
I'll put it this way. For every one of these that does get put up, there's probably quite a few that don't. It's like
I'm sure.
It's like if Charlie Kirk gets like totally body slammed on an intellectual level, they're not going to put that shit up. Ben Shapiro wouldn't put that shit up either.
Why do they need to be caught on an intellectual level? It's not about intellectualism. It's about the heart. Like, yo, you're saying you care about this or you mean this. Yo, here's you getting caught not caring about this or not meaning this. That is the actual arena to deal with these fools. But if you turn it into factoid intellectualism, you're going to get fucked. It is what it is.
Well, you can be stupid and remember a lot of facts.
It's not necessarily that, Joe. It's like it's this kind of cold analytical aspect of dealing with like real people's lives, right? It's very hypothetical in this discussion, right? Well, there's a girl who was 10 years old who got raped, and this has happened. And very analytical, right? But then there's like, why do we care? Why do we care about that? And that never gets discussed because Charlie's not going there. And this chick is not going there either, most likely, in my humble opinion. And thus, we end up, like, lost. We miss out on the actual point. Like, hey, man, when you torture someone, it fucking, it harms them as beings. It harms them if you torture someone. That is the point. Not, well, I've heard, according to the happiness index, this
That's a real thing, actually. The Gross National Happiness Index.
I know. Andrew Yang tried to bring that into I think in New York initially, but the U.S. in general when he was running for president, the happiness index, which is like, it's like, yo, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing that?
It's not even his idea. The king of this small South Asian kind of mountain country called Bhutan came up with it.
Either way. Well,
I think they're next to Nepal.
All I hear is Ed Lee screaming, but what about the Koreans, bro? What's about them, huh? My people, yo. It's like, yo, you're missing the fucking whole thing. You're missing it. You fucking dummy. But don't worry. I'll tell Ed he's a dummy to his face. I'd do that. Either way, let's continue. Here's Charlie Kirk getting owned by a random check. Here we go.
If your metric is you said it's bad.
Bars.
Thank you.
The 2 minutes that...
My bad.
Lots of babies.
If you actually care about women's happiness, then the solution is to structurally support them. That means universal childcare, shared legally enforceable parental leave.
I can't stand when people do those little edit things.
And also,
whether it's that, whether it's the fucking Thug Life hat, whether it's that Vine Boom that...
I disagree, but thank you.
The 2 minutes that Kirk had facing Dean Withers on that Jubilee episode were rough enough that Kirk seemingly kept ducking Withers for the rest of that year. Dean was actually finally supposed to debate Kirk a few weeks after he was murdered, something that Dean took very, very hard.
This 5'2" dweeb.
Nobody deserves that. Not even Charlie Kirk.
When Kirk went to Cambridge in the UK and faced up against students who've actually put in significant effort and preparation, he was so clearly outmatched that his own channel comment section took the side of the woke feminists.
Yeah, he didn't fucking deserve that.
Charlie Kirk beaten by facts and logic in the marketplace of ideas. Feminism wins, the right loses, nothing else to worry about, right? Wrong, obviously. And this is because
I would much rather Charlie have had the chance to maybe reevaluate some of the decisions he's made.
Or even winning the debate half the time. He's in it for the purpose I mentioned earlier of breaking containment, saying inflammatory things that he may or may not even be sincere about. I'm focusing on this because
maybe the two are connected.
And plenty of liberals like Ezra Klein believe certain things about Charlie in open dialogue that are just not true and fundamentally
Ezra Klein.
They think that people with opinions similar to Charlie Kirk must be open and defeated in the marketplace of ideas, and they take Kirk's political intentions of having dialogue and discussion at face value, saying Kirk did politics the right way, but this is so stupidly naive it makes my head hurt. Plus, it's just not based in reality.
These fools make
Here's
Kanye
Kirk,
make
a man
sense,
who didn't even finish college, insulting multiple highly successful black women with advanced degrees and high achievements, insinuating that their success is only a product of affirmative action based solely on them being given opportunities because they were black.
I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color. But I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
You really have to wonder. In fact, you know, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously.
He insults their brain processing power and assumes that their job should have went to more qualified white men. He gives no actual argument for this, no material evidence to support this. It's just evident on face value from his perspective because of their race and this distortion of what affirmative action must be. Your racism is so inherent that he's not even capable of understanding.
I wonder if a gang of black women rolled up on Charlie when he was 2 and took his trikey.
Affirmative action. What they're pointing out is that before affirmative action, they would not have had the opportunity to reach the level of success they've reached. Not because they lack the brain processing power,
your breath, Jordan.
but because racists like Charlie Kirk assume that
it's not a good idea to ask for miracles.
Allow them the chance. And mind you, that still makes them rare because the most likely recipients of affirmative action have historically been white women. But in Kirk's mind, in the minds of most conservatives, racism only exists when people say slurs or openly admit it. And even
is that
then,
conditioned?
We shouldn't talk about it too
FB?
much.
Is that conditioned,
none
or
of
is
this
that
matters again because the point isn't to have a
Charlie
discussion,
or is it genuinely like
is to say something racist or sexist or homophobic out loud to his fan
Probably
base
can't.
And get away with it
without borrowing it from some other book or some other person.
Build a coalition.
Because it's
I
not a
could
thinker
talk hours if I wanted to about how wrong this statement of doing politics the right way is, as others have. But it doesn't make a difference because people like Kirk aren't here to be convinced. They're here to normalize their hateful rhetoric. Liberals and moderates watching, understand.
These
if
are our
the
fucking
ultimate goal is
thinkers
to
of the
reduce the
times,
damage that
guys.
certain
Is
ideas cause, the
That's
best
it?
strategy is not to help them spread. Even if you think you're winning the optics in the moment, taking certain ideas out of the marketplace of ideas ends their ability to replicate. Yes, the dreaded deplatforming is our
America's not the greatest country in the world.
To it, yes, but understand that there's tons of research at this point that shows that no one really changes their mind from public debates. People don't change their mind just because they've been presented with better information on a topic. People will legit lie if they think it serves a greater communal good. So even if you have your cool Aaron Sorkin moment,
that shouldn't be a
you're still not doing anything useful. It's team sports and entertainment, and our team will never.
Why are you shitting on America, white boy?
Game going on.
What they do to you?
We're going to convince them in the
Where'd they touch you? I got a puppet.
I want to hear that again. It is team. He says it is team playing, and our team will never win unless we. Hear that again?
People will legit lie if they think it serves a greater communal good. So even if you have your cool Aaron Sorkin moment where you own the chuds, you're still not doing anything useful. It's team sports and entertainment, and our team will never win the actual major game going on with the strategy that we're going to convince them in the marketplace of ideas. And the right knows this. It's why they won't stop saying so much wild shit.
I'm tired of hearing that phrase.
It's why they
the
do
Nike
not
place
care
of
if what they're
ideas.
saying is
It's
true
not real.
or false, if it makes sense, if it doesn't, if it's an outright lie, or exactly the opposite that someone else said. And I hate our modern news media for not just saying this to them. Whenever someone on the right just lies in their face, they say, "Is that true?" And then puts the microphone right back to them like they didn't just lie a fucking second ago. Like a perfect example is listening to Trump talk about the Epstein files on the campaign trail.
There's a
moment where you had some hesitation about Epstein, releasing some of the documents on Epstein. Why the hesitation?
I don't think I'm not involved. I never went to his island.
And listening to him talk about the shit now.
Right. By the way, in that image right there, you can see Kyle has the same tan thing going on. You can see like near his scalp, it's like very white, and then his face is like reddened or darkened. Kyle Kalinske has the same thing going on, which is hilarious to me, because that is apparently the most important thing I can point out about this entire video. Look at their tan lines, bro. Look at Kyle's hands, then look at his face. It's full of tans. Actually, it's fucking winter, and somehow he's tanning somehow. So he goes to a tanning room or a tanning facility. He's a fucking WWE fucking wrestler without the TRT. All right, here we go.
I'm not involved. I never went to his island.
And listening to him talk about the shit now.
Mr. President, what did Jeffrey Epstein mean in his emails when he said?
Oh my God, Epstein! Oh my
God! Nothing about that. They would have announced that a long time ago. Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead.
What's funny is that could have been done a long time. That could have been done under Biden. It could have been done under Biden or Obama, actually. But for some reason, it wasn't. Was it?
If all the Epstein stuff could have been released because there were still investigations going on, but could have given us something.
So when Trump goes, well, why didn't the Democrats bring it out then? There's actual point to that. Not from him, because we've seen him act around, right?
Well, Trump got dogpiled by you guys. He got dogpiled. He got fucking case after case in
Who the fuck are
several
you
different
guys?
states.
Who the fuck are you guys?
You guys, you fucking liberals, just bitching about Trump all the time.
Yeah,
what did Trump do to you? Did he touch your penis?
Got it. Thank you.
Did he squeeze your nutsack?
Thank you for joking with no credibility. All right, let's continue.
I'm joking. I'm just saying.
No, you're joking. We know. Here we go. Let's move on.
Trump do to you, for real.
Charlie Kirk himself spoke on the Epstein files all the time, but clearly was told behind the scenes to stop.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend.
And it was such a blatant reversal of his own opinions that surely some people should have woken up. But they did. Still no consequences, no change in behavior, no damage to the movement. We are living in a post-truth era. So why are we worried about having good faith debates with people who are obvious liars? One scary thing is the country has moved so far right in its general disposition. And the right-wing movement has been so effective in their rhetoric that they've managed to label
How are we
Kirk
living
as
in a post-truth
You
era?
left us keep making Trump to be a supervillain, and by the next time you get a leader in office, he's going to not impress you at all.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
How are we living in a post-truth era, is what you said?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, I feel like some people have always lied. Some people have always told the truth. I don't know how all of a sudden it's a post-truth era.
Well, this guy is this F.D. His name's Salinger. Signifier. Call him Salinger.
Put down Catcher in the Rye for 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's Holden Kaufman, whatever. He's playing politics. That's what I think.
The next Democrat president is going to be so lackluster. You guys are just going to shoot yourselves and not talk about politics for 4 years like you did under Biden. This is how it goes.
See, you're saying that, but in reality, it's just this guy that you're seeing on screen versus like. I will only speak for me, Harrison. When I call you an idiot, it applies in I think most periods of your lifetime, probably. To be honest with you, your political lifetime. It's not a
be conservative without being a fucking racist.
I'm not a Democrat. I didn't vote Biden. I'm not going to vote for the next Democrat, most likely, or Republican.
Well, you don't vote. That's your generation. You're fucking retards.
No, it's not about not voting. It's just they're not good enough. They're not good enough.
Give us shit to vote for.
If you fall for that idea that they are good enough, you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry.
If you want change, you have to vote. You fucking faggots.
You want change, you have to vote. what change did you get from voting, Harrison? If you did vote,
If voting on its own was that potent, do you think that these fuckfaces would ever let us do it?
Hell no.
Well, Trump was reelected, and all of a sudden, white people aren't canceled anymore. Good thing.
It canceled in what? In Disney movies? Come on, you got fucking played. Admit it.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. You got fucking played.
It's okay.
If you have a Disney if you have a Disney subscription, you're a fucking retard.
All right, he's being stupid.
They produce bullshit.
Well, he
and you know
is
that.
Stupid. My bad.
Fuck.
My bad. He is stupid. Not being stupid. He is stupid.
No, Democrats are fucking stupid.
Yeah, these guys all play
They do
games.
the fucking popularity fucking vote all the time.
Yeah,
and as soon as somebody like Trump gets in and he starts firing people and pisses you off, you all fucking lose your shit.
Yeah, I got it.
Happens every time.
Oh fuck, yeah, I got it.
Message received.
Yeah, understood. But yeah, this FB Signifier guy, Charlie Kirk, it's hard to find the differences. For me at least, maybe the Signifier guy has more of a sympathetic perspective because of, hey, here's something blatant, and watch them blatantly like run over it, whether it's shootings or policy or whatever the fuck he wants to call it. Yeah, you can see the quote unquote Republican Party running over those things as like they're nothing. So, thus, he has that, but in reality, he's nowhere near approaching the idea of diagnosing.
An alternative.
Nowhere near diagnosing the problem in the first place, and thus
what's the alternative?
And thus,
another Obama,
the solution
Bush
is nothing. The solution is like empty to me because he doesn't diagnose correctly. Yeah, Obama's not the answer to this either, Harrison, in my opinion, at least. Fuck.
Obama's part of the same continuous machine that's led to us having to live in these conditions.
Did I answer that question that great? Because Harrison is really good practice.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. I need to focus better because I mentally forgot your question because I'm entangling Harrison in what I'm saying.
It's not that Trump is
and I need to get better at doing
person
that.
For the job. It's just
he's good practice. He is. Pause. It's a major pause, actually. But he's good practice intellectually. So I thank you, Harrison, for that. I really do appreciate it.
We're going to need a leader. We're going to need a younger leader, for sure.
I appreciate that, Harrison. Good job, man. Or is that your point of view? Or
old-ass Democrat.
Get her bud, I guess. Yeah, okay,
the
whatever.
Democrats touch your penis, Harrison.
It's just like the surface level of politics is so fucking like corny. It's actually corny, but
it's also predictable.
But yet it's here anyways, kind of, right? It's kind of here as like your shadow. It's just following you around everywhere. But it's actually like the corniest, dumbest, like most dumb fuckery of thinking ever. Yet it's here. And guess what? Yes, Charlie participated in that shit a lot. And this FB,
we have to have a leader. Who's it going to be?
And this FB.
What do you recommend, Gordon?
This FB Signifier guy is also partaking in that. Who do I recommend? You, Harrison.
What's your opinion on who's the best candidate for running the country?
You should run, I think.
Fuck is that?
I think if people saw how, like, man, this is the bottom of the barrel, this is how stupid it can get, I think you'd, like, change minds around.
Muslim to run our country?
I think if you won the presidency,
you're a Muslim, Harrison,
we'd realize how stupid we can get. People are like, okay, we can't do this. They walk away and do something else.
Well, I want the fucking Vatican to run our country. I think that would work out very well.
Oh my God.
Are you JD Vance?
Yes.
He actually.
Holy shit, guys! JD Vance is in our fucking YellBro server.
I hear a little bit of JD Vance, but I want him to hear like Bath. I need to hear. Oh
yes, boss.
I need to hear it from Harrison, but either way, okay, let's continue. Here we go.
racism, then young whites are going to find some very radical political positions. If you want young ladies to become more conservative, we should encourage and celebrate marriage. Get a mortgage, get married, and mate.
Welcome to the
I think
dinner
it's worth
table.
to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
And by the way, genetics matter. We should talk about genetics more. It's not racist to say that. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be.
If it's genetics, you lost, but I'm only pausing for the sake of leaving and coming back. Here we go.
Oh, fuck.
Forgive me, Joe. I'm sorry. Here we go.
Not your fault.
Be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously.
He's saying these racist things, openly speaking on women, not needing to be educated, defending gun violence in the name of liberty.
Shout out to Beavis and Butthead.
It makes him a moderate because every once in a while, when an
there's nothing wrong about being racist if you can back it up.
But what you need to understand is
Are you threatening me?
Republicans
You're not threatening the almighty bunghole.
You just can't say the quiet part out loud. Lee Atwater, the campaign manager for Ronald Reagan, said as much back in 1981 as they developed their culture war playbook.
You start out in 1954 by saying by 1968 you can't say that hurts your backfire, so you say stuff like force busing, states' rights and all that stuff. And you get so abstract.
I think I've
now,
actually heard
you're
these.
talking about cutting taxes and all of these things you're talking about are totally economic things, and the byproducts
like
of
scanning for
blacks get hurt worse
criticism
than
on
white.
This is still
How
where
is
we
he
are.
wrong?
But the truth is, Kirk
not
was just
this guy.
skilled at
Me.
hiding the
That
racism
was
inherent in
Jordan
his
wrong,
movement. Many members of Turning Point USA were
Think you're
exposed for having
fuckable,
their
huh?
own racist
Think you're so smart and
It's
fuckable?
just something white people do when they're not around us.
We
or
love you, Matt
even when
Hunter.
they are around us, to be honest.
you're
Kirk
loved,
was
Matt
a
Hunter. If you don't love us back.
Our last
all
real
of the
president
overtly racist
died in
pundit this country has seen.
1963.
However, I want to talk about
Everything
the
is
one
shit.
that I think most right-wing figures are
I
mimicking
did not
today,
hear a single
George
word of that
Lincoln
very
Rockwell.
well.
Now, some of you may find it offensive to compare George Rockwell, an overt neo-Nazi, to Charlie Kirk, allegedly a moderate, an overt neo-Nazi. However, you'll find
Because the
him and
feds are
Rockwell
trying to mute me
pretty
because
much
the
the
feds
same.
murdered Kennedy.
Rockwell attacked MLK and the Civil Rights Bill.
See,
Charlie
this
Kirk
F.D
took the same
Signifier
exact
guy
position
doesn't
60
realize
years
that
later.
Charlie's
Both
playing a
alleged that he was a
character on
communist,
TV.
which we'll give him
He'll
that
say
one.
what is
MLK
needed
secret
for the
debates,
sake of
made a whole
moving
video
people
about it. It's
politically.
fine. Rockwell believed in the Great Replacement theory.
Charlie will
guy
say
is the
whatever
same
his
thing.
paymasters want him to
Rockwell
say.
was
this guy, I can
anti-feminist
move
and
this guy
anti-gay,
easily.
saying that he would allow gay men in his movement
guy
if they
is
changed
easily
but didn't
movable.
believe in
He's
gay marriage.
dead. Why do you
I will
faggots
say
care?
this. In my organization, I have men
No,
who
the-
were
the
homosexuals. They were
Signifier
sucked
guy.
into that filth, just like drunkards or dope fiends. And I have been able to rescue them. And I'm not a bit ashamed of that. I'll stand shoulder to
I gave him
shoulder
the
with
deck
anyone
on
on
that.
any day. The only thing I will not tolerate is a
the right way
homosexual
to
who
go.
is a homosexual.
Charlie Kirk says basically saying
I
he's
know who's
always
gay.
arguing about
Trust me,
women
I
being
trust
submissive,
it.
saying he's okay
I
with gay
know.
people existing, but marriage is between a
Complain
man and a
about
woman.
dead people. That's really a
Why can't
solution
marriage
to
be
our
allowed with two
problem.
men or two women?
Allowed and what it is are two different things. Just strictly from what marriage has always been is the idea
Harrison, do you need
of
your coloring
two
book?
separate parts coming in a union to be able to have hopefully a lifelong partnership to raise kids, adopt kids, or have kids. It is the attraction of opposites. If you want to redefine marriage, that's fine, that's your contention, but I take a classical view of marriage.
Both were anti-immigration, both were college dropouts,
based on
both show
Erica Kirk
potential
talking out
as
loud, she was
provocateurs, which got the
masculine.
attention of rich
Charlie's
benefactors.
very- he's
Harold
very
Noel
feminine.
Aerosmith Jr., Bankroll
Not
Rockwell,
men and women,
Bill
but like
Montgomery saw similar potential in
yin
Kirk
yang
and
style.
helped him found Turning Point USA. Both were overtly anti-communist and anti-progressive. Both toured college campuses debating students and creating spectacle to bring attention to his cause. Both couched their politics in a false image of Christian faith based solely on whiteness. Both were even from the state of Illinois,
Oh
with
my
Rockwell being
God.
from Bloomington
I don't
and
think
Kirk
Charlie's
being
that.
from Arlington Heights, future home of the Bears, which that's so bad. And there's one more
So are
similarity
the Bears, but yeah.
I'm gonna save for later. However, for a lot of you, this might be your first time ever hearing of George Rockwell. Hell, I didn't know much about him till earlier this year. And shout out to Westside Tyler for making a similar comparison between him and Charlie Kirk in a video just a few months back. But despite the fact that Rockwell was a well-known figure in the 60s during the civil rights movement,
He's
often
smoking
trailing
pipes all
Martin
day and
Luther
night,
King
bro.
on his speaking engagements and marches, he's been erased from
Can't
our
talk
history.
without a
And
pipe
the
in his
reason
mouth.
is obvious. Rockwell made one mistake. He said the quiet part out loud
I think he should have
Commander
just
George Lincoln Rockwell. You are
sucked
head
a
of
dick,
the
maybe.
American Nazi Party. Yes, sir.
Nothing wrong with
How
sucking
can you
dicks. Men do it,
possibly
women do it.
Leading an organization whose objectives are the liquidation.
He clearly needs controlled fire hanging out of
the
it.
United States into a fascist state. Well, I don't know where
He wants something hot to suck on.
but they're ridiculous. We have no such objectives, as you have said. We are not out to liquidate the Jews. We are out to liquidate communist traitors. Unfortunately, too many Jewish atheists, not religious Jews, but too many religious atheist Jews are mixed up in communism.
He was too honest about what the American right really was and what they wanted. He was too extreme, not in his rhetoric, much of which was popular then and is openly parroted by the American right now.
Nazi guy hates
his problem is that he
Jews.
openly called himself
I'm
a
shaking.
Nazi. He did it at a time where Americans had spent years branding themselves as anti-Nazi, even though the Nazis modeled their genocide
Guess I'm a
off
Jew
of Jim
then.
Crow laws in
He
America.
smokes pipes.
There were still the bad guys to us then and still today.
It's just like
but
this
his
guy's
political
taking advantage of
platform
that.
was damn
This
near identical to
fuckface
Trumpism.
Rockwell soon
F.D
discovered that the
Signifier.
well-educated and spirited Judith was nothing like the mental image of a
Joe
wife
promised me.
based on the
Don't fall
demure
for
and
that,
submissive
idiot.
Claire.
beg
He
you
quickly
Don't
eroded
fall
whatever
for that
relationship he had with the Altmans by blaming
Do your
them
little
for not
communist thing. Don't
training
follow that
Judith for the proper, meaning
for that.
docile and compliant role of a wife and
Hey, man,
mother, which
we should've
was,
did
in
Jordan
his
real
view,
fast.
the only
Don't talk to
appropriate
me.
station for
That's
a
what I beg
woman.
for, Joe. That's what I beg for.
To your husband, Taylor.
But unlike Kirk and so many figures on the right,
have a guy that
Jordan, I thought you knew me
with
better.
plausible deniability.
I've never even, I don't think I'd even heard of this guy.
In the crowd. He didn't say stand
Before
back and
today.
stand by.
Me neither,
He said
honestly.
literally white power.
He does smoke a
That's
lot of pipes,
book
though.
he wrote. He named one of his magazines the Storm.
Does trust Jews? I just wonder how they took off in such a way
Bible of white supremacists stand
supporting a country.
So he is not mentioned
Harrison, how
in
many pipes
today's
does he lick?
modern society and has been erased from
What do you think?
history. And I'm not saying that's a bad
How many
thing, but it's interesting to consider that he himself has been erased, but not his rhetoric, especially since conservatives today have come to identify themselves
Did I
with
glitch
Nazis
out?
so much that making Nazis
Oh,
bad
no.
guys in movies and TV shows and video games is
I did.
offensive to them. We just had a guy call himself a
Near me?
fascist on
Anyone?
Jubilee to laughter and applause.
Okay.
But let's go back to that last similarity between Kirk and Rockwell. I didn't speak.
Also, pause it, Jordan.
It's in how they
I have a
met.
gripe that I need to air in public.
Yeah, good.
Fuck Jubilee.
We can hear you.
Fuck Jubilee. Garbage program.
I was just listening
Never
to the
liked
video.
it.
I kind of don't like the X-Men Jubilee. I kind of like her too, though. When I was a kid,
You don't like Jubilee? Because she's
Shut
like
up,
the
Jordan.
baby?
when I was a kid, I liked her, but like older, I'm just like, fireworks.
She's
That's
kind of
not your
annoying.
powers. No, it's kind of whack.
I like
Damn it, Jordan.
Rogue. And
Rogue is dope.
uh,
She's dope.
Storm's kind of corny.
Storm's corny. Oh, you're so trash. Fuck off.
Sebs, go to your room.
Storm is fucking awesome. Fuck off.
She's kind of corny.
Storm is fucking awesome. Fuck off.
Did you get electrocuted when you were
She's too
5
perfect.
Sebs?
She's
I
like
prefer,
one
like,
of
a
the
little rough
fucking
around the edges.
leaders. Fuck off.
Rogue.
She's one of the leaders. Fuck off.
Yeah, she's supposed to be the teen mom.
I want her to like dominate mommy. You know what I'm saying? Like just dominate me. Like a dummy mommy. You know what I'm saying? Like a white-haired
Also,
African.
So,
You
when
wanted to get
Stephen
the
Miller
car
was
battery,
giving that
Jordan?
speech for Charlie Kirk's memorial, he was talking about how he was the Storm. It was really funny. Like he kind of said it the way that Storm would. Like, I am Storm.
Wait.
Yeah, the difference is
Who said
Storm can
that?
back it up.
Stephen Miller.
Uh,
Because he was saying that they were the Storm.
God.
Like, we are the Storm. We are the Warriors.
Yeah, Stephen Miller's a skinny
I
little
feel like he
fucking
kind of like
wimp.
low key stole that from Storm. Like part of the delivery.
Something.
No way, Sebs. He's nowhere near cool enough to know about X-Men.
Some things I understand, but Stephen Miller, I don't get that one. How the fuck did you fall for that guy? Like he's a blatantly like, who is this dweeby
Like,
little
A
fuckface?
super dweeb.
That little
Jordan, not
goblin's
like-
never read a comic in his
fuck is
life.
this
Dweeb to the nth square. The way he talks. It's like, it just gives like, oh, you got roasted the shit out of for sure in your little California school over there in the West Coast.
Fuck, bro.
He would never have
Anyway.
survived the East Coast.
And he's literally
We are
taking it out
far
on the rest of the
worse.
world. because there was this one other speech that he gave, like against the janitors, I guess, at his school, talking about like I should be able to throw things wherever I want.
Wait, what?
It's their job to clean up after. It was the most.
Oh my God.
I hope it was an act. It might not be.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would hope it's an act, but with that guy, I'm not sure.
It's like he got kicked out of like REM, but they were in seventh grade. They're like, yeah, you can't be in our band, bro. We don't like you.
Yeah, now that you say it, Jordan,
play music
I could buy it. I could buy him being Michael Stipe's evil twin.
No, bro, he got kicked out in 7th grade, bro. Yeah, you're trash. Get out of here.
Yeah, he's Michael Stipe's evil twin. Shiny, shiny people.
Happy shiny people. That's that. All right.
Shout out to Rem and shout out to Space Ghost.
Also, here we go. Here's Tyler Robinson.
Call himself a fascist on Jubilee to laughter and applause. But let's go back to that
but
last
also
similarity
Jubilee's
between
a bad
Kirk and
program.
Rockwell I didn't speak on yet. It's in how they both
I knew that one, Joe.
The story right now is that Kirk was shot by a young white man named Tyler Robinson.
I know,
sniped from a rooftop. Tyler Robinson has been branded as a leftist by a lot of conservative media due to some incredibly specious and pieces of evidence that I'll talk more about later. I will add now that everything from his past life to his parents to his username on Steam and indicate that he was a typical right-leaning young man from Utah. Meanwhile, Rockwell was also sniped from a roof by John Patler, a former member of his American Nazi Party. Tenure with the party due to not fitting into the Aryan aesthetic, for which he was eventually ousted by Rockwell for his Bolshevik tendencies.
Every video
What he
game
really meant to say was that Patler was a closeted gay man. And
sorry, I said something about Jews, and then all of a sudden I got kicked off of Discord.
And
I'm
what
back.
they tell us about the cost of movements like Rockwell's and Kirk's. The fact that Rockwell
it really happened.
Magazine Stormtrooper explicitly insinuating the untimely death of his followers for the white
global homo gay.
It's that same belief in the expendability of the followers that led to his own death. And a similar thing can be said about Kirk, whose last words were literally him
everyone will be gay.
The reality of spree shooters and similar acts of senseless gun violence that he's defended throughout his career.
Procreation will be
Acts that, believe it or not, are far
I
more
hope y'all got
likely to
your
kill men
skates
who look
ready
like
for the
him
global homo
than
gay
look like
disco.
me. Because of this, Kirk ends up being just another victim of his own cult.
Yeah.
The world Kirk helped build is the same.
It's here, and it's the first step toward
to make him a martyr. Not a
as the phrase goes,
trying to put me in jail.
Gay luxury space
destructive movement for. And I can talk all day about how the rhetoric of the right and Kirk and Rockwell and whomever hurts me in those lives.
They slam my boy for bitching about Jews, and then all of a sudden I'll say something about Jews, and they fucking cut me off.
Let's talk about y'all. Let's talk about the.
You got to do something about these assholes.
Yo, Harrison, go ahead. Go on a spree, bro. Go on a verbal.
These fucking Jews.
Hey, go ahead. Keep going.
Not our Jews. Our Jews are cool. But these fucking Jews in Israel think we owe them something. We don't owe them shit. Okay? We don't owe them a dime. They need to calm the fuck out.
Leave my friends alone, bro. The American ones, right? Harrison, right?
Mm.
Right?
Fucking Jews don't even want to help the fucking Jews. Why do the taxpayers have to? It's fucking weird.
That was your one.
I like that. I feel like that's the argument that should be made to Ben Shapiro. I like it.
Harrison, that was your one Shakespearean soliloquy right there. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it's beautiful, right? Spotlight and everything.
Let's see if we can get him on Ben Shapiro's show.
All right, here we go.
Can you make some phone calls for me, subs?
Put him on stage. A one-man show, just Harrison. Well,
yep.
Just pours down a Keystone Light.
It's just Harrison. That's it.
All right, here we go.
Of this forever culture war, let's talk about the young white men dying like
didn't
Charlie
lag.
Kirk
Awesome.
did. Part 3. Look at
WIN.
Shout out to
I
Dark
can't
Knight
stop
right
talking
there.
about the Joker, y'all. I'm sorry. I promise I
Dark
won't be
Knight
here
Joker.
long,
He's definitely a
but it's
WYN.
important. We got to get into the
The
media.
Joker is
Wanna
definitely
know
a WYN.
how I got these
The
scars?
short
WYN.
infatuation with Joker as it pertains to this topic, for those of you who are new, there was once a time when the Joker was this silly, almost queer-coded agent of chaos that
this
was
guy
a
didn't
popular
understand
villain,
the Dark
but
Knight,
not this
so that's why he's
icon for
wrecked.
disaffected, predominantly
I don't think
white
he
men.
understood the
When I
animated
was a kid,
series
I saw
either.
Jack Nicholson as the
Right.
Joker in the first Batman movie, and I thought, yeah, that's cool. But nobody wanted to be him. Same
Hamill's
thing for the
Joker's better
Joker
than
in the
Nicholson.
reruns of the
Not
1960s
sorry.
and the classic cartoon series in the 90s. But then in 2008, with The Dark Knight Returns, the gritty revamp of the Batman
Knight
films,
Returns?
we got a new
What?
reimagining of the Joker
Okay,
as
the
representing the
animation.
aforementioned
Got it.
disaffected group of angry, predominantly white men. And I've talked in multiple videos now
Calm
how
down.
that image of the Joker is so iconic to these men.
No,
and
I
boys
will not
because it
calm down.
embodies
I'm gonna have
a
to fucking
fantastic
go on this
ultra-violent
guy's
response
go on this
to
guy's
an
channel and
indifferent
give him a
group society that
fucking
both causes
rundown
their
of
dysfunction,
Joe, wait,
the Joker hierarchy.
Same thing
Wait,
for
wait,
the
wait,
Joker
wait.
in the
I wanna
reruns
hear
of the
this.
1960s and the classic cartoon series
I'm
in the 90s.
curious.
But then in 2008, with The Dark Knight Returns, the gritty revamp of the Batman films, we got a new reimagining
Dark
of the
Knight?
Joker as representing the aforementioned disaffected group of angry, predominantly white men. And I've talked in multiple videos now on how that image of the Joker is so iconic to these men and boys because it embodies a fantastical, ultra-violent response to an indifferent, cruel
he's a
society
bot.
that both
He's a
causes
movie
their
bot.
dysfunction
Okay, fair enough.
and rejects them
Got it.
forward. And
Moving
because
on.
of this, they lash out. And while the Joker's
a movie bot.
popularity has
Got it.
waned as the years have gone on, the
his
sentiment
Sinners
behind his
review was
popularity
embarrassing.
has gone nowhere.
It's
The
actually,
chaotic,
like,
evil desire
Chris
to have
Tuckman gave me
revenge
more.
on society is just as salient in
I
the
feel
films
like
of predominantly white men.
This guy watches
feel
Batman
like
movies.
Any of you are Jewish, be
embarrassed
assured
right
I
now.
hate Muslims even more. So
That's right. He entered a
Whatever.
topic that I actually know about. He sees Batman. He sees like, oh my god, look at that Batmobile. That's this guy right here. Anime
Nah,
dweeb
he's doing
nerd
that.
fuck.
He's
Anime
he's also
dweeb nerd
doing
fuck.
that other
Admit it
stuff,
right
though.
now. Admit it.
Yeah, he's a nerd fuck, but he's also doing the. Oh well, he's actually doing the surveillance thing. Like those are the undertones.
Batman's
he picks up.
rich. Ugh,
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne is
yeah,
rich.
exactly.
Ugh.
He doesn't pick up like.
It's like fake though, right? Though, like, but it's like kind of like real though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what they
fuck off, you fucking dumb fucks. You
He's
dingbats.
Elon Musk. He's Elon Musk with a 6-pack.
This
Elon
guy,
Musk wishes
this guy
he was
led the
fucking
K to
military
say.
Batman.
contracts.
This guy led
He
the
gets
K to
all
say,
these
by the way. He led to it. This guy's thinking led the K to say, by the way. But there is no such thing. Art is not a thing. It's not real. It's all, oh my god.
It's Dad
but
Jordan.
But the crowd cheered. It was amazing. The crowd cheered, though. It was amazing. That's what we're dealing with right now. Art is not real anymore.
Why are you roasting him? He's
It's
not
fake.
even here.
Because he's a part of this. That's why. Okay.
Sebs, we fucking roast him all the time when he's not
I'm
here.
not
Garrett,
standing
don't you
up
fuck-
for how he
You don't,
feels
uh,
about art,
We got
but
the coalition
You don't come
over
around
here.
here enough.
He is a part
oh
of
my
this.
god, I can't even
You're a
speak
Gen
now.
Z defender, bro.
Thank God Josh isn't here. Go
He's
ahead.
a part of this
Thank
tragedy.
God.
Josh is more antagonistic to his generation.
But when you're gone, we really rip on women. So
That's
You mean
him
you
by
rip-
himself. Yeah, it's him by
Yeah.
himself.
I know. I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure everybody in here loves him,
Him,
including you.
maybe Dubster if he's here.
Including you, Harrison.
Harrison, maybe Dubster if he's around too. Like those two by themselves. But either way,
Harrison's a
like,
feminist, low key. He's a fourth wave.
Sebs,
that's right. I'm new. That's right.
I love women as much as I love
So
men.
far
as I
Just
want to get a
say not
date,
at
Wait,
if
all.
I can get a date, I'm a
Okay.
happy man.
Why you gay?
The point
Go
is,
ahead.
with this fucking fool, bro, this fucking guy is gonna. So Joker is now a representation of white supremacy. Is that the idea? The inner workings of white people, of white kids or something like that. Like, go fuck
Disaffected.
off.
Disaffected white man.
Way to take art and turn it into something stupid. It's like, that's for you, you dummy. You fucking idiot. Like, where's the Batmobile at? There's not enough wheels in the Batmobile. Where's the fire fucking tail light at? Huh? What the fuck? That's these fucking dweebs, bro. I'm telling you right now. I swear to God, that's these fucking dweebs. Have you seen Robert Pattinson's Batman? Fucking genius. Stupid fucking plot writing, like dumb fuck narrative about nothing. It's about nothing. Anyways, I'm triggered right now. All right, here we move. Here we go.
What's
Let's keep it moving.
The program about nothing.
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
tell
You see
you
the
about that.
Batmobile? Whoa!
See?
Shut the
Yep.
fuck up. We're moving on. Here we go.
Dax notwithstanding, the
Get
last
stuck on
Batman
this. We'll be
movie
here all
just
night.
took the same character motivation and
Wait.
put it on the Riddler this time instead of the Joker, just because it still is just as salient now as it has been probably for
It's about white
several
supremacy.
generations. This nation is full of angry, nihilistic, and potentially
Wait,
violent
he's
young
like
men
next level
trying to
Bob.
get
He doesn't
someone,
get those
anyone to pay
in
attention.
movies.
And I don't think people
Now,
realize
if you
how
watch
years
the-
ago
if
that
you watch
sentiment
the-
is to
If
movements.
you watch some Marvel movies, you'd get that Falcon is like the representative of Black Power, and
I don't even know what he said about
holy
Black
fuck
Panther.
you,
I don't even know what he
slappable little
said.
fuckface. Holy Christ!
Black Panther,
Stay
bro.
the fuck away from art. Take that Wu-Tang shirt off, and put a fucking Captain America shirt on instead. Get rid of this fucking Wu-Tang shirt, bro. Get rid of it. Stay the fuck away from art, please. Stay in politics
I
and
thought you guys
nurse
liked
it.
Captain America.
Yum yum yum.
I'm lukewarm on Captain America.
I got nothing for it. Yes, some okay movies, but at best they're like just nagging at conspiracy ideas. At best,
Okay. I never watched. I don't know.
a little bit here, there, MK, Operation Paperclip, and things like that. A little bit.
At first, I thought it was like a cartoon thing. Like,
It
you
is
know,
a
those cartoon, like the what are they called? Captain
That's where it
Underpants.
came from.
You know that?
Captain Underpants? You mean Captain Planet?
You know what I'm talking about? Those books.
He's a hero.
No, you mean Captain Planet, right?
Captain Planet.
Who?
She don't know that.
Fuck! Oh fuck! Oh.
Who that? Who?
Oh.
Who this? Who phone?
You have so many things to catch up on, Subway.
Captain
You have
You know the
Underpants?
comic strip I'm talking about?
Oh fuck! Oh. Get this
You know about the
librarian
Magic
out of the
School Bus?
library, please.
Does she know about the Magic School Bus?
Of course, I know the Magic School Bus.
Get her out of
You
the
know that
library right
trash
now.
show,
Oh
but
my
you don't
god!
know- But you don't know Captain Planet.
Who's Captain Planet? I don't really care.
That's a
I
troll.
I
That's
just
a
thought that
troll and a
Captain
half.
America was like Captain Underpants or something. And I was like, oh no, it's actually like a movie. Surprised.
All right, I'm hitting play right now. Here we go. More of a F.D Signifier with his brilliant analysis. There we go.
You'd rather listen to him than my Captain America.
Yeah,
Captain
actually,
America.
yeah.
We're trying to finish the Doc Sebs, but you won't
Back
me.
years ago in Virginia,
We'll have a
these are not
long discussion about this later.
who are finding their way.
Captain
I don't know how I feel
From
about
Shad.
No,
I mean,
these are
I don't know.
I'm in,
We're still
I'm
the
in
type of man
contact
that if the Joker
embarrassment.
was real, they probably would have been some of his goons.
How
Or as
do you
Rock
think
Martin
I feel,
named,
Jordan?
Stormtroopers. Stormtrooper might sound like Tyler Robinson. The limited info on
There's a
Robinson
phrase from
indicates
Captain
he was
Underpants that
actually a
still
young
lives
man
rent-free
of
in my
significant
fucking head.
intelligence, having a 4.0 GPA,
Captain
scoring
Underpants is
34 out of
Tim the
36 in his
Tatman,
college
by the way.
entrance exams, ranking
early.
him in the top 10% of testers. Yet he went to an unremarkable state school and dropped out after one semester to enter trade school. He was described as shy and quiet by many and was clearly deep into internet culture if the memes he put on the bullet casings and his choice of Halloween costumes are of any indication. And that's all we know, really. Over a month,
Bella
after this
ciao,
huge
Bella,
story has
Bella,
been
Bella
radio
ciao.
silent on any new information and why he did this. Conservatives
Fucking
like to say the memes on his bullet
Italian
casings indicate a
anti-fascist
left-wing political
song.
standing. However, the memes are also well-known memes in right-wing spaces meant to mock the left. The only other ostensibly left-leaning aspect of Robinson's life is the revelation that he was allegedly in a queer relationship with his roommate who was said to be trans, though there's minimal evidence of that as well. Mind you, Tyler Robinson
Wait,
being
are they calling him a
bisexual or
furry because he's
pansexual or
wearing an
whatever
animal
wouldn't
print
make him any less
pajama?
right-wing. Right-wing men
Because I have
are
those.
such fans of queer
Possibly.
sex and trans
Also,
women.
I literally have their ones.
don't embarrass yourself like that.
Gay Nazis were a thing.
You're a
furry too, bro.
Yeah, you're a furry.
If you
can't-
like trans women,
I
the
can't
rest
follow
of
this
his
anymore.
fans
I'm
tend to
wrecked.
be Republican men. There's also been some effort by those on the left to say that Robinson was actually far right and killed Kirk because he wasn't right-leaning enough. Many connect the memes to other far-right groups, specifically those led by Nick Fuentes.
Tyler still
who is
maintains
a
that he
constant
didn't do it, by
persistent
the way.
critic of Charlie Kirk publicly. There's a lot of internet
Yo, Nick,
lore
what's
there
going
that
on there, bro?
sounds plausible from a biased position, but there's little validity
Yeah,
to
are
support
they
this
true?
assertion as well. Then, of course, we have the conspiracy theories that it was about the Epstein files or the Israel lobby, body doubles, and all kinds of stuff that comes from these moments. But at the end of the day, until we hear from Tyler directly, we don't have a strong understanding of why he allegedly did this. All that said,
they're never going to let us hear from him.
Which is that Tyler Robinson was like a lot of young
white
men, except he's evolved.
I love guns. I love my
Tyler
country.
didn't technically commit
my
an
flag.
act of mass violence.
This guy would be
Instead,
like,
he made
he's
a
on the
mass
far right.
spectacle of violence.
See?
We'll explain this
Far
a bit by
right
talking
violence.
about spree shooters. There's been a lot of effort as of late.
He's a fucking 20. He's a fucking 20-year-old. He doesn't know what he is.
To reframe spree shootings and mass killings in ways that fail to isolate the disproportionately white male and right-wing nature of these mass violence incidents. All domestic terror acts of mass violence and spree shootings are disproportionately done by right-leaning, straight white males. Kirk's incredibly ironic last words were him responding, counting or not counting gang violence, to a question about spree shootings. Bam! He was trying to insert a racist dog whistle to deflect from the point of the question, and he did this because engaging with the reality of what spree shootings are.
If I didn't know better, I'd think you were Chef Emerald.
Look at white people, white men specifically.
That I watched
put a lot of effort in making spree shootings an issue of trans
Chef Emerald,
somehow.
Emerald Lagasse.
Even though most research indicates
Can you type that to me?
I don't speak English. Shootings, and bringing up mass shootings in the context of street violence as if it's a black inner city gang thing hides the white male right-wing nature of the phenomenon even more. Gang violence and spree shootings have completely
I need you to post this video because I need
thus responses.
to read Matt Hunter's comments.
Those two is the point for men like Kirk. Again, the goal isn't the greater truth or understanding, it's breaking containment.
Can't find my
this
channel?
is not
I thought it was okay.
Hey,
He just hates niggers for some reason. I'm trying to talk to him about that, but he doesn't want to.
Like Brian Nichols and Christopher Dorner as examples of black spree shooters, but aside from being relatively rare, it's also not hard to recognize the difference between someone like Christopher Dorner, who went on a killing spree over being fired from his job as a police officer, versus Scott Paul Bierle, who killed 6 women at a yoga studio because he was depressed and couldn't get a date. And again, there are some black spree shooters with similar motifs, but they pale in comparison to the amount of white ones.
Dehumanizing
While both
either
events
way
are abhorrent, only one
way to get lost in the fucking weeds.
Stop using the Dark Knight Joker, you fucking dingbat.
Society, which tends to be the unique
you never watched the movie.
For
You're a
most
bot.
white shooters and almost
You're staring
no
at
one
Batmobiles,
else.
you
In
little
the
bot.
aftermath of Kirk's murder, the term nihilistic terrorism, nihilistic violent extremists,
fucking
popped
loser.
up on people's radars.
Talk about nihilistic
How dare
violent
you.
extremism, but haven't really set out to define what it is, and a lot of people don't know what it is. So what is it?
Where's your
comic
kayas?
Extremism is a practical definition that allows authorities, specifically law enforcement,
Don't fucking let him know about Dragon Ball Z.
more terroristic in nature, but lack a singular ideological focus. It's individuals who are moving on 3 or 4 ideologies.
AKA, we're casting a bigger net.
Why they took the violent actions they did, but
And you about to get wrapped up in this shit.
Hatred of society through violent means, and hoping to see it collapse or at least degrade a little.
Motivation by
Essentially
chaos.
saying,
Like, what does that
we
even
don't really
mean?
understand
Who
why
listened
he
to
did
this album?
Exactly. Whatever they
What?
want it to mean.
Oh shit!
Oh, it got
They
cut.
should-
It got actually cut. Am I
What?
tripping?
What the hell?
It got actually cut.
What? This shit got taken down.
Mid video? What the fuck?
I think
They took it down.
What?
They took his shit down, dude.
What? Hold on.
No, it's
Just
saying the
that's actually
following
right.
content may
It's that
contain
Kirk
suicide or
cut.
self-harm
Yeah, but
topics.
I
No,
just
it's
feel
right there.
Maybe
clicked on
3 or
that.
4 ideologies, but none of them hold a primacy.
So why did they stop it?
YouTube, what the fuck?
Actions they did, but nonetheless they're seeking
What?
to
Swear to God, YouTube.
Because they could just tell them
gets
to
worse
remove
every
that part.
fucking year. God
lives
damn
that he
it.
took. You don't do this much because you're indifferent to being known and
Oh, I
understood.
hate
Hold on.
the 21st century.
You
Hold on
want
one
to be
second.
known and understood. You want your words and actions to be influential and mean something. And I know this
The
because
Joker
law
and the Dark
enforcement
Knight.
knows
This
this.
guy didn't
Since
watch
probably
that
the
movie.
mid-2010s
He's a
when it
bot.
became clear that mass shootings were just going to be a thing we had to deal with here in America, the media and authorities began to give less attention and energy to spreading the names and faces of the perpetrators of these crimes. It used to be that committing a spree shooting of some sort would get your face all over the news for weeks or months. You get tons of
One of
examination
those was
of
Hannibal
your life,
Lecter, a
and your
fictional
background,
character,
and your
but
parents and
okay.
your friends and all this stuff.
No,
Academic
Hannibal
papers,
Lecter, he's a
interviews in
great
prison,
guy.
whole documentaries, etc. Now you're lucky if your incident stays in the news
Shout out
cycle
to
for
Sir
more than
Anthony
48
Hopkins.
hours, and the media will rarely say your name on TV.
Everybody.
But what if you kill or
Ted
attempt
Bundy.
to kill
A
someone
lot of women
famous?
like Ted Bundy.
Then they can't ignore you. Literally the same day Charlie Kirk was killed, there was a spree shooter by a kid obsessed with Hitler and Nazis in a whole other state.
Hello, FD.
But he didn't kill Charlie Kirk, so none of us remember this. Consider how much more famous Matthew Crooks would have been if he had actually killed Donald Trump. Further, look at his very similar background to Robinson. Quiet kid, highly intelligent, highly online, all the usual features, but at some point Crooks knew that he wanted to do some type of spectacle act of violence, and he researched spree shooting and other things extensively before deciding to kill Donald Trump. But he failed, and instead his attempt became fuel for Trump's presidential campaign, and his story has been mostly pushed to the side.
Listen, your political
but
takes are kind of
understand,
mediocre.
targeting famous public figures for infamy isn't a new thing, and it's probably going to make a strong comeback because this is what disaffected, mostly white men have been doing for years. When
you gotta $50 a month.
No, I'm not doing that.
My goal in bringing up spree shootings is to beg an obvious question.
Show up and get wrecked.
Why is this something that Americans have just allowed to happen here?
You got a deal, $100
no other country in the world, even countries with plenty of guns like Canada, has this many acts of senseless violence. But more interestingly, why do not the white nature of this phenomenon? Not just the fact that the shooters are predominantly white, but also the fact that the
I'd actually like to see you challenge this guy on
the modern American right wing, none to me are more striking than the
I wonder if he's going to conclude with
kids
it must be
dying at an
genetic.
elementary school or a high school or an all-white church
that's too much,
or
Matt
an
Hunter.
all-white
That's
country
too much.
music concert would bear minimal energy or attention in
room for
the
Matt Hunter,
alleged
though, like-
pro-life conservative agenda.
genetics,
Instead
I'm
of
doing
outrage and
environment.
self-reflection,
Let's go.
the right has only doubled,
University.
tripled, and quadrupled down, with Kirk being one of the main people defending guns and gun culture and distracting from any
Kirk was
real
not that
efforts to
important.
look
He didn't
inward.
care about this guy until
Him being
after he
murdered in
died.
a similar act in the
himself.
middle of dodging questions on the nature of
straight
these
up.
acts is so ironic.
Why does he blur shit? Oh, that's
Charlie
YouTube?
Kirk's murder is yet another
Making
cry
him?
for attention from white men
He
who are
blurred it
suffering
because there's
under
something
late-stage
private.
capitalism and alienation. But at this point,
Oh, I thought
background.
YouTube made it.
excesses
I
of
thought
white
you
life
did
in
it
this
6
country
YouTube made it
is not a
take down.
glitch.
It's
It's a
probably
feature.
Patreon
It's
and
the
shit in the
entire
background.
point. And that's why Kirk has to be celebrated and elevated to such a high level, because he was a true believer
Probably
turned
something not
public
nice in the
martyr.
background.
And other
I'll say
white
that.
men like him will be lucky
can't
to
stand
share
that.
his fate. But the reality is, most of the other deaths in the name of this cult don't have nearly the same level of exaltation.
Obviously, that's not what either of us are saying.
Well, what do you think is the cause of it? Like, what do you think is the reason why more men aren't succeeding and getting college degrees, and more men aren't going out and making as much money? in their 20s?
I think that the current environment does not necessarily lend itself to the disposition that men have got. So they're less conscientious than women from a personality standpoint on average. That means that it's
What?
really difficult comparatively
Robots.
on average
Got
for you to be able to remind yourself that you need to do this sort of homework. Men are more predisposed to addiction, they're more predisposed to using recreational drugs,
my
they're more
God.
predisposed to being in
Idiots.
jail, to
These people
all
are
of the sort
guiding
of gang
people.
stuff that people get drawn into.
Fuck out of
It's
here.
just more likely for guys. There are more roots.
It couldn't have anything to do with the fact that people
That
feel
guy
like
has
they've
no-
got
no
fucking
fucking clue.
thrown overboard.
Yeah, that guy has no clue what the fuck he's talking about, by the way. In my humble opinion. Nothing. Not a fucking inkling of what
Keep
the
me
fuck
away
he's-
from that guy,
Nothing.
whoever he is.
Holy
Keep me the
fucking
fuck away
shit.
from him.
Maybe
I will
Bob's,
flatten him.
Maybe Bob's Bob and Johnny's Johnny.
Don't
right?
do him, Joe.
But
Don't
even
do
that,
him.
like, maybe Johnny can be like Bob, or Bob can be like Johnny. Instead, what do they say? Well, you know, predispositions and, as men, they
In your
do
blood,
this,
man.
they do that. Like, meanwhile, it's like weak fucking men on chemicals telling you what the fuck men are. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck away from me. Get out of here. Well, men are men like this. Like, you're on fucking chemicals, aren't you? Show me
Sound
your
like
fucking...
it.
Yeah,
Jordan,
show me
hold that
what
thought
you
for a
take.
moment. I need
Well,
you to listen.
technically, food is chemicals.
Yeah, sure, but there's a difference between that and, like, TRT, right? Big difference.
Maybe.
Water is a
artificial confidence. Yeah, get that shit the fuck away from me.
Adderall shit.
Since Anthony's
It's
begging me, Anthony's begging me not to do what I plan on doing,
Oh my God.
listen closely. Ant, quiet. Listen carefully. Did you hear that?
I heard snaps, I think.
I cracked my knuckles.
Oh, shit. I thought those were fucking finger snaps. Like, why is that so loud?
It's because I got bad hands, Jordan.
Stone Cold.
Listen, you get off the Warframe, okay? It's carpal tunnel, finger snapping shit. Okay.
Wolfram Spotter.
You sound like me when I'm playing Apex. My fucking hands are just like crooked. Like, but
I'm lucky that the microphone picked it up because I'm not going to be able to do that again for a little bit.
Either way, it's like, why are we using Rogan and this fucking dude as the backdrop for some sort of point? Other than, like, these guys are idiots. Other than that, like, what's your point you're going with, FB? Rewind 1 second, 1 tick. Let's hear it.
Likely for guys, there are more routes that men can be pulled away.
People on the right say pretty consistently that the left offers no answers to
robotic men.
The phrase.
That's what that is.
The left has failed men. And I get why they say this. It's stupid. I get
Jordan,
what they're trying to get at.
Why are we doing this? Why are we limiting human beings like that? It's incredible to me.
The left offers men
I take alpha brain.
answers
That's
for
what
the
the
specific
answer is.
things
Alpha fucking
they
brain.
believe are causing them problems.
Like, people are so much,
Instead,
so much
the
more
left,
capable
because we're
and
talking about a
creative.
very
than
nebulous
we even
thing,
give ourselves
right?
credit for.
Offers young men a relatively
And these are the
unproven
idiots leading
and
us.
risky
It's
way
incredible.
of reimagining themselves as men, which
One of
is
the
in many
men are
ways
so fucking miserable now
they have been taught to
because a lot of us know that we're getting thrown the fuck
They are
overboard.
literally telling them
Joe,
the
like, are we
thing that they're
fucking
actually
stupid?
pursuing
Like, what the fuck
is
are
the
we
problem
doing?
in the first place. So of course,
We must
how
be.
could
We
that
must be pretty
an
fucking
easy
stupid.
or viable
We're doing
answer
this.
from that particular
I
standpoint.
know at least 5 people
Mind
like,
you,
in person
There's no
that are
shortage
funnier
of
than Joe
left-leaning
Rogan.
men
But yet,
that
he's a
exhibit
professional
the traits we
comedian.
often associate
I kid
with
you not.
traditional masculinity and manhood.
George
whether it
Carlin,
be physical
good luck
prowess,
with that one.
desirability,
That's special
wealth,
to me.
being a
Bill
solid
Hicks, special to
father
me.
figure or provider.
Joe
and
Rogan,
in plenty of cases,
I know.
being a misogynist or
5 to
patriarch.
10 people like
None of
actually
these things
funnier
are
than this
unique
fucking
to the
fool is.
right. Further,
But yet he's
if you
there.
look at a lot of modern
Look at that.
Joe
male
Rogan.
figures, they come up pretty fucking short.
I'm
like
funnier
it's not
than
about
Joe
the actual
Rogan.
thing.
Masculinity,
Okay.
whether it be Ben Shapiro's
Yes.
clear low T count, or the fact that many right-wing men
Low
like
T.
Kanye West or Steven Crowder can't keep their women or don't take care of their kids. But the right has the advantage in branding.
It's the right.
not in
Oh, it's
truth.
the right.
And
Got
so
it.
because they can frame their false images of masculinity as the appropriate ones,
And you're
it's an
legit.
uphill
Got
battle
it.
for anyone outside of that.
I mean, that
The
is ridiculous.
right's
looking.
image of
That's
masculinity
crazy.
is based
That's,
on dominance.
that's
The
cringe,
left's
bro. That's
Yo.
fucking
right. As long as a man aspires
Yo.
to exhibit
That's
traits of
fucking
dominance,
crazy.
then he's okay in their eyes. And while again these problems do
But, like,
exist
when this
with men
fool
on
points
the
it out, I'm
left,
like,
we're not
who the fuck are
branding
you, man?
ourselves as such.
Yeah.
And that
For me
limits our
personally.
reach. Conversely, the right tells young men and boys that
And
they can be
YouTube, this is
a
not
dominant
my first
alpha
video
male
of watching
as long
this
as
guy,
they
by the way.
follow them on
not
Instagram
brand new
and
to
buy
me.
their vitamins and do this workout plan. as
I've
well as
seen his
this
name around,
11
but
step
I've
Andrew
course
Tate.
never
to
watched
becoming a
anything of
millionaire
his, so
before the age of 30.
new territory
And none
for
of it
me.
works, of course. The irony, the immense irony of the left
It's-
has failed men is that the right
probably
has
in his
always
mind,
failed
like,
men.
yeah, it's good
The
enough.
right has been
Moves
in
on.
control of what men say
that
they're
is.
trying to be for generations.
Influencers.
And
That's
why are we
Aiden
where
Ross
we are
guy,
today
right?
if not for
Yeah.
the false things they've been
What the
selling?
fuck's he
us?
doing?
Algorithmically generated content on
I don't
social
even
media
know.
contributes to and profits from young men's growing social isolation, boredom, and ignorance. With the deepest pocketed firms on the planet trying to convince young men that they can have a reasonable facsimile of life on a screen, many grow up without acquiring the skills.
Two
to
lonely
pursue
men.
capital or
Actually, one lonely man. Anderson Cooper gets back on the dip.
Pause the video, Jordan.
That's crazy. Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
You want to read something interesting about like the idea of alienation and becoming socially isolated. I promise you, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels wrote much more interesting things about that than we're getting here.
I bet I outflanked them by a bit. Actually, I
Maybe
guarantee
you
it.
would. Maybe you would, but like, I'm putting this out there because I think you would get a lot more from what they wrote than what we're getting here.
Fuck relativity, Joe. Fuck that. Are they
don't think,
are they angling to make their thing
I don't-
more important than something else? Go ahead, Arsafa.
What? Oh, never mind. I shouldn't
Not
say
good.
anything.
Not good. Please.
I don't think Karl Marx was a relativist.
I'm not saying relative. I'm saying what Joe was saying. Comparing one thing to the other. It's much better off than this. That's kind of relative, right? Or no?
I'm saying you might feel a little more engaged reading what they wrote because it would interest you more.
But I'm saying, like, yo, you in your own life, if you actually examine it, is a fucking gospel on its own. Actually, it's actually a gospel on its own. You fucking dingbats. But don't worry, go pass the buck to someone else. Because if it goes downhill, you can blame Bob or Tommy or Steven Crowder or whoever.
You know who I blame?
F.D Signifier. You can blame them instead. Hey,
I blame Matt Hunter.
Me too. You know what? You're right. I blame Matt Hunter too.
You can always do like George Carlin and blame the public.
Or it's
Guess
like,
what?
own your shit. Own it. Own
I'm
all
glad
of
the
it.
water sucks, and you know what I do? I fucking drink it.
It's fucking sad, man. It's fucking sad. It's sad where we're at.
Oh, we are not surviving the next 2 centuries as a species.
I mean,
we're done.
The core idea thing, like people can be savages if they want to be, but it's like, yo, here's your option.
Gotta prepare for Mad Max, but that shouldn't write off all.
Yeah, that's what I gotta do. I gotta prepare for Fury Road in the fucking Thunderdome.
Yep.
Yeah, but if there's nothing with Batman's around, that doesn't happen, and we know that, right? So thus, we are the blame for our own fucking fate, essentially.
Maybe we need Jokers more than Batman.
I mean, who?
Jokers.
Oh, Jokers? Yeah, good luck with that. Sorry, I'm going Nolan iconography with that one.
Why is there a piece of rebar tied to my car? Is this from a Spider-Man?
It's like, yeah, it's so
I
simple.
tried to be Lois Griffin, and I have no idea what the fuck that turned into.
That was definitely not Lois. I don't know.
Where you get those Pokemon cards?
Is this from a Spider-Man?
Well, I'll say this before I hit play here. The greatest.
The Jews kicked me again.
Oh, there you go. Go ahead. Say that again. Let the crowd know.
The Jews kicked me again.
Where?
Man, damn.
Shabbat?
Yeah, where?
They kicked me out of your chat because reasons.
Wait.
Going to kick his left
Were you
cheek?
actually kicked out?
Going to kick his right cheek.
I'm sorry. I wasn't looking either, but like.
Real Harrison.
Kicked? I didn't see that.
Going to kick his ass right on into next week.
Real Harrison. You are on a mushroom server. I am not on. What's going on?
Either way, before I hit play here.
Well, that's.
Oh, go ahead.
That's a gaming server. I'm not sure that you'd be interested in that, but I can invite you.
That's the gayest thing I've heard all week. Okay. Before I hit play.
Sexuality.
Okay. No. Right, before I hit play here, apathy is the greatest downfall of your own existence. But
Jordan, you're such a faggot. Shut up.
I know, man.
Talk about me being a faggot.
I know.
I'll fuck you in the ass so hard.
You
fucking faggot.
That's
I think I need to
weird
buy
to
Harry
say.
another coloring book.
Yeah, that's weird to say, man.
Wait, he said he fucked you hard? What?
I think it was worse than that, Anthony. But I was gonna say, apathy is good luck. That's gonna fuck you over as an individual. But never stop caring. Either way, let's hit play here. Here we go.
You can't love everybody. The Jews will fuck you over if you do.
Of men
Shut the
18 to
fuck up,
25
Harrison,
have never
before I fuck
approached
you.
a woman in person.
Okay.
And Jordan, since you brought up Warframe earlier, you know what the name of its main antagonist is called? The Indifference.
Are responsible
look at
for
that.
77% of the
Yeah.
growth. Our economy literally rests on 10 companies now, often referred to as the Magnificent
I like
10.
that.
And they do several things.
Although I have no
quite
context
frankly,
for that.
They're in the business.
I like it either way.
Of enragement, polarization.
It's a fucking cosmic horror thing. You might enjoy it.
Of trying to establish a romantic partnership when you have literally lifelike synthetic porn.
Recently become obsessed with
I think we have our
Final
economy
Fantasy
is
7.
attached to one objective.
I'm probably gonna get that
is
game
to
again and
evolve
play it.
a new
Not
species
gonna
of
lie.
asocial, asexual males.
I've been watching like speedruns and shit
Unintentionally,
like that.
we have an economic interest right now, I would argue, in planning our own extinction.
It's not controversial to say that modern men are in a state of crisis, but that crisis is very much man-made. And by man-made, I mean capitalism, of course. I hear Tucker Carlson is worried about T levels, and he's right. There's substantial evidence that men have less testosterone today or degeneration.
All the pseudo
Is it
shit
due
we were
to
just talking
cultural
about is now
degeneration
playing out,
or
yeah.
trans women, or the fact that corporations have been allowed to feed us microplastics
Remember
for the last 50 years?
The green M&M.
Getting married less and are less
I do remember that.
household. Is it because feminism has made women more masculine,
Joe, is
or
it
because
wrong? I was turned on
neoliberalism
when
has
it
made it
happened.
impossible to support
As a
a
kid,
family
I was like,
on
yeah,
a
it's kind of
normal
hot.
job? Is it
It's green
because
M&M.
capitalism
Kinda hot.
incentivizes employers to pay people less and less
M&M's
to
got
work them
the it
more and
factor, you know
more,
what I mean?
and the right constantly fights against
agree.
raising the taxes on the wealthy who are in control
Whatever it
of
is,
that
she
equation,
has it.
let alone raising the minimum wage or paying for health care, maternity leave. Who would want to get married under any circumstances when it's
Shut up,
two
guys.
people just
Can't blame
struggling together? Everything about modern men and modern society is a direct reflection of the failures of modern capitalism, but the right refuses to acknowledge this to the
failures
detriment
of
of
modern
his own
capitalism.
followers. The most damning statistic
that
of the
the meaning of
dysfunction
life?
amongst white men specifically can be found in the
So
suicide.
when I say like if Jesus
While
shows
so
up,
many white
what's this guy gonna
supremacists
do?
like to talk
What do you
about
think?
1350, the distorted data point that says African
What is he gonna do?
Don't know enough about him to say.
He's gonna run.
and 50% of the crime,
gonna
which
run
is
for his
a willful
fucking life,
misrepresentation of
in my humble
FBI data
opinion.
that we all should know by now. I've talked about it
Because if
before.
there's
I'm
actual
not getting
meaning
back
to
into
life,
it. But what
everything
about
he does
37?
kind of crumbles.
Y'all ever hear that one?
Oh, I can tell
That
you what the meaning
represents
of life
percentage
is.
of white men in this country and the
What's that?
percentage
42.
of suicides that they
Okay.
represent. Yes, white
I
men
thought it was
are
6'7".
30% of the population and represent a whopping 70%
6'7",
of suicides in America.
Just threw up.
Somehow,
Shout out
it's
to Eric
the left
Cartman.
who is failing men. And this is on top of all the ugly things I talked about in the last section, like spree shooters, or how about acts of family annihilation where white men
Imagine
wake up
using,
one day
like,
and decide to murder their entire family, their wife and their kids because they
what's the
lost their
game?
job or dealing with depression, both of which may or may not also end
block
in
game, what's it
suicide.
called?
Do I even want to get into pornography addiction? Pornography consumption is more prominent and
3D
tends to be more
blocks.
deviant in red states. You southern red states love
Hubert?
your femboys and your porn.
Hubert.
And pornography addiction on occasion
Yeah.
spirals out into white men committing spree
Very
shootings.
popular game.
You're
If
thinking of
any other group in
Minecraft?
this country
Minecraft.
had these types of disproportionate
This guy
negative
thinks
health
in
outcomes,
Minecraft blocks.
it will be all over
At
every
best.
news space on a regular
best.
basis with explicit detail. They will call
I
it
never
a
got
white male
into
spree shooter
Minecraft.
problem, and not the male loneliness crisis, because the reality is it's the white male loneliness crisis. I recently watched a video by CoffeeZilla where he talks about the proliferation of gambling in our daily
Oh my
society.
God, CoffeeZilla?
Shout out to him for the video as a whole, but I couldn't help be frustrated
shit, he's
that
so smart.
he didn't touch on who the targets of this type of stuff is, which is
Anthony,
young white men
talking
scared
about
about
us,
their
bro.
position in society, hoping that something as simple and easy
They're
and low
making
effort as
making fun of
gambling
FanDuel.
can pull them out of a situation where they might be at the bottom of the economic reality
I might be making
and
fun of
push them to
FanDuel
the top. And yes, you do have people like Kevin Hart, Drake, even Drewski and Joe Button.
I make fun of FanDuel every time.
Drewski?
I
Oh,
fucking
shit.
By the way,
If
shout
Drewski
out to
does it,
Kyson Nat
how
for being one of the
can
few
I
to
not?
turn like these multi-million dollar gambling company deals. He turned one down. So yes, black figures are
Oh,
part of the
jeez.
promotion of these
Streaming
sites,
from
but
a
this is
fucking
just due
U-Haul.
diligence on the part of these gambling companies to hit every corner of men they can think of. The real targets
they're all
are young white
advertising
men
either
looking to
way.
feel like winners to grasp an opportunity. And this works because they know how desperate people are.
Their target
how
is
big the
anybody
gap
that
between
can
the
have a
haves and the
fucking
have-nots
gambling
is growing,
problem, which
and how
is
no amount of talent or hard
really
work
any-
creates
it's
a
really
successful
anything.
Anthony and
to
Josh,
a viable,
obviously.
successful life in this country.
What?
Once again, your
Anthony and
grandparents
Josh,
killed the
obviously.
New Deal in the 1960s so that black people couldn't live too close to you. And mind you, problem gambling has a higher suicide rate than any other form of addiction. And people like Joe
Damn,
Rogan
babe,
promote it
just throwing stats out
regularly
there.
in between complaining about the
Look at
massive
Rogan,
crisis
dumbass.
to his predominantly white
Imagine
male
one idiot
audience,
criticizing
all
another.
for the love of money, which he doesn't need. He got it from Saudi Arabia. And again, this is not to say that black and other men don't suffer from these
Joe in
issues.
Saudi? I don't think he
Suicide rate
was.
For men in general is
He wasn't in
abnormally
Saudi
high over
Arabia.
the
He
last
just made that
40
up.
years. All the other ways in which black people
I think UFC is willing to do events in Saudi Arabia.
that white men are working extra hard to outdo structural
Joe's biggest
racism
bag is
to take the
Spotify,
lead
right?
here. All while simultaneously
Well,
escaping the
Spotify
scrutiny
deal for
and
100
disrespect that
million.
usually comes with
Is that
it.
Saudi?
But here's the thing: this particular social
No, I
problem
don't think
is
so.
just as influenced by
But
structural
Rogan
racism.
still does commentary on UFC, right?
Black men and black people in general.
No, actually, he doesn't go
It's just
overseas.
a different
That's
function.
the thing.
The same exact structure. Many
He
white
doesn't leave the
men,
U.S. or
white
Canada,
male-oriented
bro.
spaces
Or
have
maybe
attempted
Mexico.
to lay
You
the
may go
blame
to.
for these issues at the aspects of
He doesn't
society, women,
actually be there to do commentary.
for promoting degeneracy.
North America.
But somehow
to the
that
internet.
is causing
Sure,
like
but he
factories
doesn't
to
leave
shut
North
down
America,
in their
apparently.
Midwestern towns,
For, like, when he
even though
gets
they
checks
can't
for it.
quite connect the
He
dots
stays in
for
the
you.
US,
They don't have
essentially.
to, because that's what you kind of want to believe.
You can stay in
And
the
they want you
US
to
and still
believe
get
this
Saudi
because
blood
if you
money.
don't, then you might accidentally engage with structures
Yeah,
of
but that's-
patriarchy and capitalism
now
that
you're
have been
reaching.
used to
Joe,
kill as many
stop it.
opportunities for normal
He could.
white
He
men
could. Yeah,
as
he
they
should.
have for
He
anyone
could
else.
and probably does.
And mind you, this is
to
why
some
people
degree.
like Kirk argue against
Like,
women
what this
being
guy's
independent
saying,
and getting educated. The whole
where does that work
trad
at?
wife thing that has become popular in the
Right,
last
with this
couple of years
capitalism
is a
definition,
marketing ploy to convince women that they were better off in the 1950s
already seeing some
when they couldn't
holes.
get a divorce.
The three M's make you a better citizen
one
and
day,
more
I'm gonna
conservative.
help you leave the
Which of course
political
is
bullshittery.
mortgage, marriage,
enter
and maiden.
spiritual
In
realm.
fact, ending no-fault
Enter that
divorce is
instead.
literally something many
Well, I
right-wingers
can't
want
do
to
that
do
for
right
you,
now.
but
They want
one day
women to
you'll
not have
realize
autonomy, often using the fact that
politics
women are
shit
so
is
unhappy
fucking
now as
horseshit.
evidence of the failure of
It's
feminism, which is ironic because it actually just proves the left's
It is
point about
bullshit.
everything.
Sorry.
One thing that never gets brought up when we talk about the
more
problem
in-depth
of
you get
Communism's
into
not the
it, more you
answer.
realize
it takes the
the more
focus
you
away from
figure
explicitly
out
men.
politics,
Jordan,
the fact that
feminism
while
is the
suicide
question.
rate
The
for
answer
men
is
no
is
yes.
normally high and has been for decades.
The answer does not
women
lie
are
in a
actually
political
more likely
solution
to
to fix
attempt
political
suicide
problems.
than men. They're not doing
There'll
any
always be a
better
mix
under
of
the current
things
situation.
because
And
we're
then another
humans,
sick twist, the
not
only
bots.
reason why their suicide rate
Unless you
isn't
wanna be a
higher
bot.
is because of the
You can
methods
be a bot if you
women
want
tend
to.
to choose for killing themselves versus men. To be
Joe,
blunt, men are more
I
likely to
see
use
communism
guns
as the
in attempting
means to
suicide,
the
which is much more lethal
as a
than the
means
methods
to
women tend
the
to use, such as
solution,
attempting
not the end
overdose
goal.
pills. Thus, women are more likely to survive, creating opportunities.
Which is to just
And
give
white
us
men are
the
more
freedom
likely
that
to
we
own
need as human
firearms, often
beings
as a
to,
manifestation of achieving
feel
national
fulfilled.
status and or the
Freedom
irrational
is not
fears
actually
that
in
Even
Communism.
that, no, even that. What did you
terrorists
say?
or whoever
Even
else
that
are
is
dangerous to them, so they want to carry these guns around in case they have to become John Rambo one day.
Do you want to go
And
fishing?
Ironically, that just
Okay,
ends
go
up making
fish.
it easier for them to kill themselves. when
What's that?
things don't
Now
go
you want
well
to
for
study
them.
geology?
Published in the National Institute of
Go ahead,
Health said
study geology.
Themes of white male anxiety are
freedom.
common in
You know
recent
what I'm saying?
social
Like
science
corruption.
research. For
Corruption
example,
is different
Carlson
than the word
shows that
communism.
white male anxiety surrounding
persist.
For most
perceived
people.
threats to their dominant status explains high rates of gun ownership
Corrupt people
among
show
whites.
up in
Kimmel also
myriad-
demonstrates
myriad
that the pressure
ways.
to be economically successful,
Not linear.
particularly in times of economic uncertainty,
break
is a
Johnny's
major
legs,
source of
like,
distress
hey,
among white men.
Johnny can't fish
Indeed,
anymore,
the narrative
and I
of
have
the
all the
erosion
fish.
of the
What
authority of
now?
white men and perceived status
Right,
threats is
that's where they'll
evident in the
go
formation of the Tea Party
argument-wise.
movement and the rise of men's rights groups. Research on
that's-
health and
I'd be
well-being
more-
You know, it's like,
more
oh,
concerned-
Jimmy's
emotions.
this guy's being a
Case and
this guy's
Deaton
being a
show
piece of
that
shit.
suicide rates
That's why
among white males have
that's why
increased,
this,
which they
that doesn't
speculate
work,
have been fueled
right?
by
Oh, that's
hopelessness.
bullshit.
Why is he
In
doing
response
that?
to this study, Phillips
Exactly.
hypothesized
How
that
did we get-
while
how did we
men
get
have
there?
experienced
How the
greater
fuck did that
increases in
happen?
suicide
Context
because they were
always
socialized
matters.
to believe
Ah,
that they would
yes,
experience
I agree.
upward social mobility and economic
absolutely agree.
prosperity in a way that racial minority men were not. In other words,
What
these
drives
men had
action?
further to fall.
This excerpt mentions Michael Kimmel and his concept
This
of
guy's
agreed
everything.
entitlement. And
He's
while
10,000
Kimmel
leagues away
has for
from
various reasons fallen out of favor in gender studies, I don't think anyone has a better
Why
framework
do
for
people do what
examining
they
the
do?
uniqueness of this specific social ill
luck.
for white men specifically. Kimmel states the following in a paper paper titled "Suicide by Mass Murder."
Well, Johnny's poor. That's why he did this. Like,
wrong by the world. These are typical adolescent feelings.
It can be part of it, but it's not the whole picture. That's for fucking sure.
What transforms the aggrieved into mass murderers is also a sense of entitlement. A sense of using violence against others, making others hurt as you
we can't ever know, so let's leave it
hurt.
alone. Fuck it.
Aggrieved entitlement inspires
One
revenge
of
against
my
those who have wronged.
gripes with like the
compensation
with like
for
this kind of
humiliation.
pop academia way of viewing things
Humiliation
now
is
is that
emasculation. Humiliate someone
it turns a lot of shit into a monolith even
For
when it
many men,
shouldn't.
humiliation must be
It's
avenged
not
or you
helpful.
cease to be a man.
Granularity is your
Aggrieved
friend.
entitlement is a gendered
Use it.
fusion of that
beg you to
humiliating
eliminate
loss
the
of
word
manhood
monolith
and the moral obligation and
and then
entitlement
rebuild it.
to get it back.
These men have
destroy
been taught all
everything.
their lives that they
Destroy
should
it all,
align themselves with
and then
these
rebuild
structures
it
and
in your
traditions
own
that map
What are you
certain
faggots
things a
even
certain
talking
way,
about?
and it's their job to
Harrison,
ensure
you're
about
that
fighting
they
the system.
abide by
This is
certain
beyond
rules and
pre-K.
traditions.
You're gonna get
Handle this.
They will be rewarded.
So
And in that
I
process, they
heard
become
called
foot soldiers
Galactus
or
and
maybe
have
even
him eat the
stormtroopers for
earth.
these structures. And being a soldier is costly, and the cost is their happiness, well-being,
I'll be right
and
back.
possibly their lives. And it's all to
Yeah.
protect the system that does not have their best interest in mind. And more, so many of these men are recognizing that the structure is not holding up its end of the bargain, and they're looking around at their peers slowly dying. But instead of recognizing the system as the problem, they listen to the system, explain to them that the real problem is trans middle schoolers playing.
Stop bucking up,
And for a
bro.
long time,
And it
it
works
was
too,
really
doesn't
hard
it?
for me to make sense of that. How so many of these men can fall for such
His
obvious
explanation
misdirection,
is actually what's
and why
happening,
so few
seemingly,
recognize the real problem.
on the mainstream
But
level.
then as I've studied
And
the
that's
manosphere
sad.
and the right wing over and over, I realized
This
that it's
guy's
not
not that
because it
smart
makes
about
sense,
anything, honestly.
but because it makes community.
He's probably bad at
It's
hip-hop
because the
itself,
cohesive
right?
identity
His
of
own
white
love for
men
something.
is literally worth dying for from their
He's probably bad
perspective.
at it.
The real challenge that the left
Is hip hop
have
even a
to try to
thing
win
anymore?
is the
Does
fact
anybody
that it
like
means
go to like
constructing
yes,
this
you fucking
ideological
dumb fuck.
framework and reconstructing the
No,
concepts
it's
of community
bullshit.
and kinship
Okay,
for
it's all
a
bullshit.
lot of
Gotta-
white
yeah,
men
walk
that,
away.
let's be honest, a lot of us don't want to be around. It's why so many white men on the left hold on to those same frameworks when they get here, allowing many problems to repeat themselves. And any white man on the left that tells you otherwise is not to be trusted. It's that sense of belonging and community that creates a barrier. And understanding that, it makes sense how
This
so
sounds
much of our daily
absolutely
lives have
stupid
been
and
atomized to
very-
reduce community.
very
Because it
much
makes it so the only community
narcissistic.
left for many of these white
I
men
wish I could take
are
my own
these reactionary
thoughts
right-wing
and put it in
spaces.
someone else.
I remember
Hey,
when
what
I was a
now?
teen that rock and metal were much more prominent parts
actually
of white male
feel that
culture.
way.
There were much more popular genres of music that were intrinsically anti-establishment, anti-corporate, and unsurprisingly, within all that convergence of media companies, you saw them purposefully begin to exclude those types of very much white-oriented music in favor of music that was more easily commodifiable. Deja Sade does a great analysis on how Eminem
I
believed
feel like
Hip
I
Hop
missed
was
something.
probably the last
After
true
a day, and then the Berlin Wall fell, and they couldn't really argue anymore after that. So,
of MAGA for white minds.
they went
today.
away, and then
Because
all of a
today,
sudden,
most
you
images
fucking
of viable white
gangsters
masculinity that are
said
popular
this black
are
shit
very
was
much
cool, and
right-wing, very
really
much
wasn't.
corporately sponsored.
Sucked.
Happy Dog, Happy Dad,
And then,
whatever the beer company is, all these podcasts.
At the same time, we had the heavy metal guys, you know,
Ross, it's
had
idiots or whatever dude's name is that behave.
well, not so much Aerosmith, but Guns N' Roses, you know, and Metallica and stuff, and
kind
then
of just casually saying whatever
everything just went away,
pushback, and
just disappeared.
like,
I can't believe he didn't release the Epstein files.
Harrison,
We
did
one
that.
day.
It may seem like I'm
Unless
being
you're- unless you're pussy,
but I genuinely
Harrison.
just feel sad. Getting back to media,
Go down
analysis
a
for
rabbit hole of
second,
why it's your
I
fault.
can't not think of the War Boys from the Mad Max movies.
Or not.
I remember
My fault.
watching Fury
It's the
Road
Jews'
back in
fault.
2015,
The
recognizing
Jews did that because the Jews control the industry.
soldiers in the movie be
do that.
nameless peons to
No,
kill.
I'm going to ship you to Israel,
Instead,
son.
the War Boys
You're going to
were
go there
this
and work
great
like a slave.
metaphor for what's happening to boys in
You're going to build their
He
pyramids.
watches one of them goes to a metamorphosis to
No.
find meaning in a seemingly meaningless life, greatly through developing a new community apart from his cult of origin. I found a quote from the Mad Max
Son, do you
fan
need your
wiki that is
activity
sourced to
book?
George Miller, though I couldn't verify
Read
this.
word.
Still is too
These fools were
perfect to
spraying
leave out.
silver
These
spray paint in their
war
mouths
boys
like,
have
oh,
no
fuck,
choice.
I'm high now.
They're
All right.
culturally impoverished.
Let me do this.
They're
The War Boys, the War Boys will fuck you.
There's no theaters,
Whoa.
no radio, no
Holy
music.
shit.
All they have are the detritus of the past, and they refashion it so a steering wheel becomes a religious artifact. They do the sign of the V8, the
Shout out to
engine
Mad Max.
they've scarified onto their bodies, because an engine is much more
They
permanent.
Jews really need to
fucking
let Mel Gibson do it.
They clone their
Because Mel Gibson can make
because
really good shit.
such a rare thing.
And then Jews are
So
like,
like
no,
all
Mel Gibson, you can't do that. And
This
Mel Gibson's
is
like,
another
"Come on,
cult
dude."
invented by
I meant the
Immortan
new
Joe
Mad Max,
in
not
order to
the
get
Road
people
Warrior,
to die on his behalf.
Old Mel Gibson.
What's so effective about them as a
The Thunder
metaphor
fucking
is
Dome
how
shit.
these boys reinforce each other. They're a community
This is the
before.
new-
Appreciate Tina Turner.
Actively have some
She's black
touching and
from New York.
moments of brotherhood.
Yeah, because
within
she's
their
hot and you're into her.
that
I
needs
got
to
it.
be recognized. It's why
And she's
it
got
works.
sexy thighs.
But at the end of the
She
day,
became
regardless
a
of
Swiss
those
citizen.
positive moments, this is a closed circle. They're not
By the way.
allowed out and not allowed to
That's
see
awesome
the
for
world
her, man.
beyond their existence.
Yeah,
Less
she
what
is
happens to
set
Nuts,
the-
character
I'm
in
sure
the
she
first Mad
evolved
Max
from there.
happens to more of them. And this
Good
is
for her.
exactly what
Good
happens
for
in a lot
Tina.
of these male-oriented right-wing spaces. These boys and young men
man.
spend countless hours in group chats, Reddit pages,
looking at
and
my,
the comment sections
It
of their
would
favorite
probably rock
creators,
my world. I wouldn't
creating
mess with
culture
her,
T-ball
but
that
around the
was
globe,
when I was 7 years
reinforcing
old.
their
I'm looking at it
behavior
right
and
now.
paradoxically toxifying each other,
That's
where
my
it would be
mentality
incredibly
right now.
hard for them to ever find
Okay.
community elsewhere.
it.
And the result is death. Socially, if they're lucky, but eternally for more than we like to think.
I get to go on to
And in the
Valhalla.
overtime, the real life and more
Hey,
Joe.
she
and
called
various
Mel Gibson
programs
regular.
Oh,
elevate
she's
themselves
comparing him.
through their sacrifices.
Switzerland has a
Engine Joe
different
is
Second
How
Amendment.
much money
I think
Trump
Switzerland
made
actually has a
in
better
variety of
Second
crypto
Amendment than the
scams
USA.
and contracts in just
Oh,
the
goddamn.
first year of his
Look at that.
presidency, all off the backs of these
You know what?
same
I
white
believe
men
it.
who voted for him, whose lives have not changed at all. The rise
they
in
Because
figure
any
out
country
about-
has a better
in
Second
America
Amendment.
over the last 20 plus
Yeah,
years
well,
is almost
they figure out
exclusively driven
about,
by white
individuality.
men, often due to depression, addiction,
Why are they
despair,
hiding it?
Switzerland.
and a loss
If they
of
figured
hope.
it out. Yeah.
All while the
That's
right
wrong.
has controlled this country for
In Switzerland, you're
50 plus
required
years
at the
and has
age
pointed to us
at the age of
and
18, if you're a
everyone else as
man, to
minority,
learn to shoot a
saying
rifle.
Somehow it's
Oh,
our
shit.
fault. And if you include the
real
political reigns of
individuals
Clinton
now.
and Obama and Biden,
Yeah, well,
The
we
military
I
guys
think-
in
which you
Scandinavia,
should
they keep their
do
weapons.
some Googles.
Because, you know,
It's
Not-
all
not in
pretty much
Denmark.
right-wing
Everybody.
all the time.
I
for
only have
a
harpoon.
generation
I have a
or
harpoon.
at
That's
least
all I
my
got.
Entire life. But even
That's
not
like-
counting them, right now,
Isn't that
Republicans have
watershed,
the
right?
Congress, the
Yeah.
presidency,
Ocean or whatever.
It has one shot.
court, all three branches of the
It's
government.
one shot.
And what have they done
It
for them?
has one shot, but then I wouldn't
fucking
want to be
up.
get shot with it. To be
What has
honest,
changed? In fact, they're actively
It's really
trying
kind of
to
Lucky you
important.
might get to reload.
If your hometown
It's a
boys
golden
have
gun.
guns,
Got it.
$300
safe.
million
If you
to
don't,
decorate the White House and invites tech
you're fucked.
billionaires over.
Don't
to
fuck
hang
with the
out
Swiss,
and
Jordan.
Plan future contracts for shit.
I
that
won't.
Will only make our lives worse.
Except for tall, hot
But as others have
blonde
noted,
chicks.
cruelty
Otherwise,
is
I'm
the
there.
point.
I'm in.
If y'all know I'm suffering, then you're getting exactly what you
And
want.
By the way,
my bank account. Do that
I'm
too.
not allowed to
Yes.
arm my
These
harpoon
right-wing
on land.
men, These white
Olga,
right-wing
the
men,
6 foot tall,
haven't
muscular
discovered some
German
newfound
lady.
value in their lives in the process, but they're seeing the inherent cruelty of right-wing ideology.
well, that's the thing. We don't want
come to
Russian.
prominence.
We don't want
Harrison's
Russians or
affirmative
Germany
action
to
is
get
law.
too
Trans
militarized
rights are
right
law.
now
Immigrants
because
are being hunted in the
that's
streets.
crazy.
Genocide is still
Guess
happening.
what?
and even
Russia
though
has
calm
become
them down
militarized.
somehow.
nothing for fiction,
Harrison,
nothing
admit
for
it.
We got to
mental
calm them
health.
down
You're
a
still
little
getting
bit
gambling
because
commercials
they're about to
probably in
go
between watching this
again.
video. Nothing to
Harrison,
improve
Harrison.
that is like the American
Harrison, admit
agenda,
it.
the big beautiful
Could I go to,
bill
like,
made
the
significant
Unite the
cuts
Right
to benefits
rally
and made it so you can't even challenge
and make it
AI
okay?
doing
Like,
whatever.
like,
Go to any
like
rally you want.
churros,
People love you, bro.
like burritos and shit like
Meanwhile,
that.
Gen
That'd be
Z,
cool, right?
the generation
No one's
that
gonna fuck with
was
me.
created by Turning Point USA and
You can
Charlie
cook whatever you
Kirk
want.
is committing suicide at
Not
a
from- not
higher
from
rate
violence,
than
from,
previous
like, talking.
generations. This is the agenda
Blacks
people were mourning when
are-
they say
No,
Charlie
from like
Kirk
talking
is a
though.
good
Like
guy.
forget about like
You're
violence.
bitching
I mean,
about
like
black
talking.
stuff.
Them of
I'm
rights,
talking about
money,
what's going on in
and
Eastern
generally
Europe,
less
which is
healthy
very
and less-
important,
as long as this
and which
video
will
is,
affect all of
and
us
as much as
very
I've
shortly.
already said, I still don't think I have adequate words to make sense of that.
I think there's a chance that
instead,
Eastern Europe will
actually try to end with
drift towards
And
Russia
important thing to remember about
and
all
away
this
from
is that no
EU.
fascist
I'm not
regime
kidding.
exists forever.
You
should.
I love stomping over this documentary right now because
Most Americans are not,
yeah.
even those who are
Not the Baltic
politically
states.
Bad
inclined,
ending to a show.
moderately
It's like-
right-leaning. In 2 terms, Trump
man,
has never
can
been
you hang
a
out with
popular
us
president.
without
He's
quitting?
consistently polled under
Yo, F.D. Salinger.
45%, and on
F.D.
average,
what's
he's
his
the
name?
least popular president since the
Signifier.
1940s.
F.D.
He did not win
Signifier.
by a landslide
Could
in
you hang out with us
2024,
without quitting?
Nor did he win by a landslide in 2016.
That's my actual question.
In fact,
Otherwise,
he's
I don't
pulled
care
in
what the
pretty
fuck-
much the
like,
same percentage of votes
I
each
care,
time.
but it's not
If you
like
manage to get off social media and stop
I don't
watching
believe how much,
entertainment
like,
news, you'll find
where's
that
your heart
most
at?
people,
Your
even
actual
most
heart.
white people, are not on board
I wonder where
with
you're
this
at.
cult. They're not in it. even in
Are you on a
rural
team?
areas that have been greatly targeted
the
by
wrong
this
music,
cult,
will you run
there
away?
are tons of people who understand
Say
what
the
is
wrong thing,
happening
will you run
and
away?
are resisting in ways
The
that
wrong
they can.
person and
Moreover,
says
there
the
are
wrong
plenty
thing,
of
would you run
regular
away?
people who are amenable
That's
to
what I
just
care about.
causes that just need to be built with,
Skin in
engaged
the
with,
fucking
talked
game.
to, and most
You don't
importantly,
want to
Life.
see Russia
Not
just murdering
fucking
everybody, because
political
that's what's gonna happen.
talking
You know that,
points.
right?
more
Boring.
You know Russia is gonna
Stupid.
You know Russia is going to do something
My
retarded
bad,
here
Harrison.
making this
and
What's
just
that?
video to
fucking
as big an
rock
audience as I will
the
be
European Union.
is an example of how things are changing. If
And
they
Europe
were
and
truly
Russia?
so
that.
powerful,
Like,
they wouldn't be
Yeah,
working
well,
so
I'm
hard.
pro Russia. I'm just saying Russians
those
will
of
do
us who
that
are in
because
space
they're
pro-Russia?
very
to reach
nationalistic.
these people, specifically
fuck
those
does
of
that
you
mean?
They're more
whites that are
nationalistic
maybe-
than Americans are
maybe instead of
nationalistic.
moving,
And
Why are you
Americans
pro-Russia,
just
though?
pussy
It doesn't
right
make
now
any
because they don't know
sense.
who to
take your
support.
ass
Why
back
would you
to
do
the
that?
Americans are
rural
supporting the
spot you
That makes
Jews
no, that makes no
came
in a
sense.
country that doesn't belong to them.
from. Over there. I'm not going.
Russia
have the
is
capacity.
Russian,
I've tried.
and
It
they
doesn't
will
work.
fucking
They're
fight.
pro-Israel
do
too,
better
but
than I
it's your
can.
thing. Go ahead.
Because, and I don't
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
this flippantly,
They're kind of fans of
them
Israel,
motherfuckers
but at the
need
same time,
help.
it's
They
like
need
The
you.
largest
We
immigration
have to
in
recognize
Israel
that
is
the
back
vast
to
majority of
Russia.
the men that I've been targeting in this video
Allegedly.
are victims in this equation.
And there's
Most
a,
of
there's a
them
pretty
Statistically-
sizable
young age
community
who
of
see the
Russian
world
speakers
in a
that
very
lives in
specific
Israel.
way that ends
It's the
exactly
third
where
largest
we
language.
know it ends. For
Or
them to
second
be
largest.
fuel
Something
for the
like that.
machine. So they die,
Goddamn.
and the beat goes on.
Third.
maybe
And
that's
all other
why we
bullshit
all lay
aside,
off
as a
the
person
fucking
who's done
Jews.
work in rural areas, who's
I
been
think we should
teaching
just,
to young
you
white
know,
people
be
in the
like,
suburbs,
hey,
or
Jews,
just as a
this is
fucking
your
Mad
country.
Max
recognizing
Fury
that
Road
meaningless
as
devotion
a
to death in the name of
explanation
forces
for
that don't
things.
care about you is a sad thing. It's hard not
Well,
to
I read it.
Pooped
I,
on the Dark Knight.
I read an article a
I'm
few
wrecked
years
by
back.
that.
almost goes to Charlie Kirk, who
Genius.
was
That,
when he was
It's
some
fighting
Russian-
definitely
We
a
are fucked.
choice.
right-wing ultra-rich
some
backers
Russian
to
Jew.
be a stormtrooper
He wrote
in them.
an article
They paid him handsomely
about
to be on the
moving
front
away
lines,
from
of course.
Russia
But I'd like to
because
think that
he
in
thought it was
18,
an
nothing
authoritarian
is set in
state, so he
stone
moved
for
to
how we live in
Israel.
the world. Who
But he
knows
found out
who
that
could have
Israel was a
been
fascist
if
country,
destruction
so he
took
moved
place.
back
But
after
instead,
just
he was
1 year.
making jokes about genocide,
Fascist.
running cover
Jesus
for
Christ.
pedophiles at the cost of his humanity.
Trade
Talk about-
one
talk-
ill to
talk
cure
about-
another.
Talk
But
about
out of
lesser
respect for
evils.
Charlie's memory,
Shit.
I'm going to do
Good luck
what
for him.
Charlie
Well-
would do and just say, "Damn, that's too bad."
Shouldn't he like
Just
leave
needs to
both?
calm their balls.
Yeah,
They're
so he
pissing
means
everybody
to.
off.
I don't know what
And they're
to say.
not big
I have
enough
sympathy
to like
for you.
defend themselves,
Yeah,
and that's
they're
kind
That's
of
not
a
my
problem.
personal responsibility and all of that. See, to recognize
find a
the
country to go to.
sadness of a
Should be
man
like, okay,
dying
we have a
like
bigger
that,
problem here.
leaving his wife and children
Logically,
behind at such a young age, to feel something about the tragedy, I'd have to put myself in
Then
his
again,
shoes.
that
I
requires
need
effort.
empathy. And
Empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage.
Some days I wish I could
Empathy is
just
a
move to
made
the
up
Irish
way when it comes to
countryside and
politics.
forget the
Sympathy, I
rest of
prefer
the
more than empathy.
planet.
That's a separate topic for a different time.
Do you want to be Irish? Well,
I am
I'm-
Irish.
Damn.
Shit for
Okay,
brains.
that's all of it.
Actually, Ireland doesn't sound too bad, if you ask me.
Empathy
will
is a
fuck you
made
up.
up leftist term, I think. It's FD. I was saying FB. My bad. FD signifier. My fault,
FB
man.
Salinger. You know what? Fuck it. Stick with Salinger. Funnier.
you moved to Ireland, you got two
J.D.
sides.
Salinger,
you got
the writer of this
Protestants
documentary
and you got
we
the
just watched,
Catholics. Side are you on?
It's the only country where I would side with the Catholics.
All right. There's your
Yeah, the
documentary.
Protestants are all in the are all in that fucking north part that the English crown still won't give back to us. Bastards.
Listen, this is a 3.5
It will be
hour
returned.
video. Let me end
So-
this thing. I beg you to. Let me end
Yeah.
it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree, disagree. Tell me what you think in the comment section.
What? Oh,
there's a lot.
you were recording.
Here. I was. There's a lot here. We talked over it. Like it was trash, anyways. It's kind of like mediocre and a lot more cinematic than it was, substance. If that makes sense. But yeah. Please.
Yeah, I get it. It's nice to stylize the documentary, but
we already saw Michael Moore.
I feel like the style came at the expense of some substance. I really do.
I think the politics got in the way of the substance. Thus, it was very political in the sense of like picking teams and why things are better or worse under who or what administration or government or police chief or whatever the fuck. Thus, it kind of sullied the idea because there's no like, if there's no integrity, you lose the substance in regards to showcasing that you're for real. These guys are fake. You didn't really achieve that. So thus he ends up falling short, in my humble opinion. But at the same
Joe
time,
Biden was
it's
the
still
best
pretty
president in
interesting.
my lifetime. Yes, congrats, Joe Biden. You are the best of a bad batch.
He wasn't.
Are you
though.
proud of yourself?
He wasn't though. But that is
Who on
very.
the-
Either
You
way,
like
Who
your
on earth would
expensive
say that?
groceries then?
I don't know who would say that, but either way, still, if that's
not
your
me saying that.
position,
Obviously, that's other people.
Yeah, if that's their thing, fine. I accept that. Just make a better point out of it instead of something that's kind of lame, in my humble opinion.
Joe Biden.
Oh my God, Harry.
He didn't have to, but he did. He carried out the COVID nonsense longer than it had to go on.
So did Trump. Let's move on. Please don't
That was
forget.
going to happen no matter which one of them won.
Operation Warp
Sorry.
Speed. Operation Warp Speed. Anyways, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description
Or
box. Or else. Please do that. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. We are in that Discord right now, just bumbling and jumping around and saying shit, and I love it. Please join up so you can be a part of the jambalaya. They call that jambalaya.
Beware of the Ashkenazis.
Beware of the Ashkenaz. What? Okay, yeah, do that.
Harrison needs his activity.
Careful with.
Fuck it. He said it. It's there. Also, everything I showed you,
Too late now.
aka this documentary, will be linked in the description box too for you to look at on your own without us pausing it, talking over it, whatever. Please watch it on your own. And okay, RSFO, you say. With all that said, and Joe, you say, give this video.
Remember to give this video a thumbs down.
No, you fucked it up. All right.
Oh,
wait. Joe, you say. With all that said, hold on. You say that part. RSFO, you say, give this video. And then Joe, you say, wait. I'll say, give this video a thumbs down.
Like and subscribe, and subs will show you
Shut the
her
fuck
boobs.
up. Harrison, you're not a part of this, okay? You're not a part of this.
Harrison, go to your room.
Okay, go, Joe. Go.
With all that said,
RSFO.
give this video
a goddamn thumbs down.
I'm not showing anyone my boobs. I just want to let everybody know.
You were asleep. How'd you fuck this
How
up?
can I go to bed then?
God damn it. Another ending ruined. Pause.
she has a